Welcome to Watts the Obsession, a channel that respects both victim families. We ask that you do the same in chat and in your comments. Hey guys, how are you doing? So everybody come on in and welcome back to Watts the Obsession live stream and chat. It's Friday night, Watts the Obsession date night only here at Watts the Obsession on Friday nights. You don't need to bring a date. I'm your date. They're your date. The moderators are your date. Please tell your boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses, whatever's that I apologize, just for fun. So everybody come on in. I'm so glad you're here. I love spending Friday nights with you guys. It's really awesome. And it's great to see all you guys. So let me just check out who's here real quick. And yeah, so the little, video intro that I played in the beginning says, Watts the Obsession respects both victims' families. We ask that you do the same in chat and in your comments. So please, the Rusek family, Shanann's family, and the Watts family, we want to give them respect. Regardless of what your opinion is, let's just respect them and give them some love. They've been through something horrible and unthinkable. And some of the topics that we're going to be talking about are very sensitive. And I know it brings up passion in people and people have strong opinions, but if we could just please be respectful to the victims' families, that would be so amazing. I know you guys are first class all the time, so I'm totally not worried about it. And my moderators are the best. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. All right. So let's see who's here. And thank you so much for being here. Moderators, people who are new, subscribers, members. I appreciate all you guys. So, oh my gosh. Oh gosh, I still have that one contact thing. So if I'm like squinting, that's why. Kent Valley, welcome back. How are you doing? Hobby Homestead, welcome. How's it going? Just to say through Cece's lives. Great to see you, honey. Again, that's wonderful. Wonderful to see you. Keschik, so glad you're back. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're taking time for yourself and you're feeling good, my friend. Hi, Michelle G. How are you doing? And let's see. Double R. What's the Obsessions live? Double R, pants are off. Uh-oh, look out. He's here. Awesome. Great to see you, my friend. Kim A, welcome. How are you doing? McJ, thank you for everything you do. McJ, it's wonderful. She's been helping me out with the channel, and I appreciate it so super much. Jen, welcome. How are you doing? Let's see. Bubba's on. Hey, friend. How's it going? I feel like I haven't seen you in a few. I'm so glad to see you. Laura Williams, I just saw you commenting over on the other video. I don't know if you got here from there, but welcome. I'm glad you made it over, Laura. It's always nice to see you. Hi, Tracy. How's it going? Nice to see you as well. Kim Best, how's it going? I'm sorry about what happened during the live premiere last night. Kim, where you got like kicked out of chat or something. I have no idea why that happened. I'm new to doing live premieres, so I'm really sorry about that. It certainly wasn't anything personal. I just don't know how to fix it, so I'm sorry about that. Kim A, oh my gosh, I think we have 3 Kims here, 3 different Kims. So welcome all you Kims. Kitty Witty, it's always wonderful to see you. How's it going? And keep gonna go up a little bit. Let's see. Candy, how's it going? Welcome. Nice to see you. Susie Q, hey, how are you doing? Nice to see you as well. And Miss DMGZ, I don't know how to say that, but welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Pita Bread, love that name. Welcome. How are you doing? Love pita bread. I love pita bread and hummus, or yeah, all good stuff. Sherry, my girl, how's it going, my friend? Nice to see you. Hey, Stacy. Okay, so I'm going to come back down to current time. If I missed anybody, I do apologize. Please don't take it personally. It's definitely not a personal thing. Sometimes, like I said, I have a left contact and a right contact that are contacts or glasses. I have astigmatism and I have a different prescription for each eye. And I ran out of my left contacts. This is my left eye because I'm mirrored. So I'm wearing 2 right contacts in my eyes and it's kind of like a little sketch, but it's better than nothing. Hey, Lori, how's it going? Hey, Desiree, how's it going? Nice to see you. Anaphylaxis, my girl. Thank you so much for everything you do. We love Anaphylaxis. And let's see, who else did I miss here? Ooh, Kiki Belmont, welcome. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Great names. I just love them. Hey, Brooke Pope, how's it going? Nice to see you. Brooke Pope, who's living a good life now. Brooke Pope is a survivor. Hey, Irene, welcome. How are you doing? And Five Lives, how's it going? Let's see, I'm just going to pick this comment. Have you read it yet? I'm starting to think you were, okay, I knew it was going to be one of those. Well, I'm going to read it. Hey, I picked it. I'm going to go ahead and read it. I'm starting to think you're just making money off of this tragedy anymore. For God's sake, it isn't day of our lives. It doesn't make sense. I used to be a member, but it's time for me to cancel. Okay, well, that's okay. Times are changing. People need change. People need to evolve. I totally get it. That's your choice. Let's see. Lori, I got Lori. Hi, I'll say hi to Lori twice. And trying to travel back down, but chat's a little crazy. Five Lives is a little nasty. You know, sometimes people are just like waking up on the wrong side of the bed. They're like entering into the evening on the wrong side of the bed. It's all good. I mean, it's just all good. Okay. Hey, Sarah with the blue eyes. Awesome. What a great name. Oh my gosh, I'm really having a hard time seeing. This is a good point. So Sarah says, this case, like Manson, Bundy, etc., will be talked about for decades. And, you know, it absolutely will be talked about for decades. That's a really good point, Sarah. And, you know, there are different channels that cover this case or any other case. I'm just going to tell you, many of you know, I'm not going to bore you with things you've already heard, but just in brief, I think it's important to say that myself and a lot of people here do believe wholeheartedly, absolutely, after having done the research, finding the facts, being really dedicated to it, that there are absolute issues of justice in this case. There are issues of justice in this case that we have been looking into and researching, and we've been passionate about, we've been following up on, and we've been trying to find avenues to pursue for a long time, for years, right? Now, it's funny because, you know, it just as I'm saying that, and of course, I'm asking people to believe me, you know, if you've been with me on this channel for a while, I know that you do believe me because I know that I have earned your trust because we have a relationship, and I know that I'm sincere in my intentions and what I say here. But, you know, I know that I can hear in my own mind, you know, there's like a couple other channels. You're like, oh, issues of justice. And I know that they are just full of BS. That was one of the issues that I was just dealing with before this live stream, because there's a channel that's covering this case now. I have a Facebook group. I'm sorry, McJay, I didn't see your answer, but I'm sure, I hope it's okay. McJay has been helping me out with the channel, and some other moderators do, but McJay's been super great, and big props to McJay. I really appreciate her. She's been trying to get the Facebook group going because I haven't really been on top of it. I haven't been really good about that because just focusing on the channel is about all I can do. And then my, you know, my career, my kid, and just loving you guys, and, you know, and in addition to other things, this channel noted that I always do Friday Night Live. So this channel started doing Friday Night Watts Lives. And just like as my live is about to start, or just before, after it starts, they'll like slide in there and post it on my Facebook group every single time without fail. I got a text from McJay earlier, and she's like, oh my God, he did it again. I was like, what? Because it's just so disingenuous. So do not mistake my kindness and generosity for being a total effing idiot, because that is not the case. And this will be addressed along with some other things, because I actually have a lot on my chest that I could say about this issue and about the dynamics of this channel. But I'm going to reserve it for now because that's not what you're here for, and that's not what I'm here for. But I'm just telling you, man, I'm this close. I'm real close. I'm about to pop. So that's that. All right. Can you? Oh, yeah. McJay, could you put the Facebook link in chat? Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely join the Facebook group. We're trying to get it more active because it's just a different place where we can talk about things. You know, the rules aren't, you know, like they are here at YouTube. So maybe that would allow for more liberal or open conversations. I don't know, but it's just a different avenue to have a conversation with you guys. The only thing is I'm just really bad about Facebook. I was locked out of it for a while. Oops, and I got back into it, but I've been having some problems. So if it weren't for McJay, I wouldn't even be able to do that. So everybody definitely thank McJay. Yeah. Oh, hey, Cece, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I got your back. Oh, hey, thanks. I was just working out. I just got back a little bit. So let's all take a deep breath. Inhale. And just let go of all of that tension from the week, because it's woohoo, Friday night, Watch the Obsession date night with us. Yeah. So what we're going to be talking about tonight, first of all, I mean, there is going to be just a trigger warning that should be, standing when talking about this case in general, perhaps true crime in general, but definitely when we're talking about this content tonight. Because what we're going to be talking about are some of the truly chilling things that Chris Watts has said happened on that night going into the early morning hours of August 13th, 2018, as far as details to what happened to his family, the details that make up the crime, the horrible, horrific, egregious crime that was committed. I mean, it is just truly, I say oftentimes I can't find any words. There really aren't words. It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable. It really is unthinkable. And to think about it is painful, and it makes your heart ache, and it's just an atrocious crime. So Cheryln Cadle is an author who, as many of you know, Chris Watts wrote letters to. Now, that fact alone is not contested. Chris Watts did indeed, pen his own letters and send them to Cheryln Cadle. There was a time when Cheryln Cadle was on the list of Chris Watts allowed guests, physical guests, or, guests as far as taking a phone call in the prison. That was kind of short-lived, and she is no longer on that list, but there was definitely a time where it was verified when she was going to see him. She did sit down face-to-face with him and have conversations. It is verified that she had telephone conversations. And, the letters that he wrote her, she does show us those letters in his handwriting. And, the handwriting certainly looks like other samples of Chris Watts' handwritings. I'm not an expert in that. I could not make that determination, but apparently people that are experts or have some expert qualities in handwriting analysis say that it is his handwriting. And I certainly do believe that. Now, here's where things get a little murky, right? Do we believe what Chris Watts says? Do we believe what Chris Watts says when it is cloaked in this kind of self-proclaimed pious devotion to the Lord that he now kind of seeps you in before he gets to anything else when you're talking to him, whether it's through writing, I imagine in person or on the phone? Did we believe anything that he said ever at all, or as it pertains to this case? And then there's also an issue of Cheryln Cadle. Now, I got to say that I give Cheryln Cadle a lot of credit for, putting herself out there and going and talking to this person and interviewing him and getting this information and putting it out to the public. I mean, that took a lot of initiative and courage and a lot of really great qualities to do. And I have nothing bad to say in that regard. The only thing we have to be aware of with Cheryln Cadle, and I don't personally think that she set out to do this intentionally, but it can be hard to decipher when she is telling us that this is something that we know is true because Chris Watts told me this. It's in his writing, it's in his words, or, this is something I believe. It's my theory. It's built on, it's built on a house of clouds, or maybe it's built from some actual information she got from him, but she'll then kind of speak it as though it came directly from him. You know what I'm saying? So it can be a little hard to decipher. So I just want to let you know that that's something that we need to be aware of when we're taking in information from Cheryln Cadle, even when the source is Chris Watts in his own handwriting, corresponding with her through letters. Okay. So what we're going to look at tonight there are some things that she said I guess in both books. I guess her last book that came out, what was it in what month is it now? I feel like it was in February ish or so. It was a few months ago. To me, I guess maybe it seems more shocking because it's newer information. I've had to read through it a few times to kind of take it all in. The information from letters from Christopher has been out there for a while. And yes, some of it is absolutely stunning, especially if you haven't heard it before. You'd be like, oh my word, what the heck? So there is chilling, stunning information in both of those books. So what I want to look at tonight are some of the things that we know are true that came from Cheryln Cadle through her books or through her interviews or through her word, because it can be corroborated with other vetted, checked out, verified information. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. So yeah, so everyone come on in. So glad you guys are here. If you could do the channel a favor, do me a favor, please click like on your way in. It sends out more notifications to more of our friends. I did send out an email. If anyone out there, does want to get notification from this channel, I can't help you with other channels. I can only take care of this channel, and sometimes barely. I know that the notifications don't always go out reliably, so I do try to, and I usually do, send out an email a day or a few hours before a live stream. So if you do want to be on that email list, it's the only time I'll ever email you guys. I'm not going to spam you or anything like that. You can email me at wattsobsession@gmail.com and just put in the subject notification list or something like that. I'll add you to it, and then you'll get the notification by email, and you won't have to rely on YouTube sending it out, because I know that it is not always reliable, right? So it's great to see you guys. Hey, J Lord, how's it going, my friend? I've been enjoying reading your comments on the Chris Watts confession video. Oh, I put out a video the other day, and so it is the cleanest version you're going to find of the Chris Watts prison interview, for 100% sure. But I know that other people have put out clean versions of that, and that's awesome. And it's like, how crystal clean do you need it? I don't know. Every time you clean up the audio a little bit, you do hear something new. So there's that. But the special thing about this Dodge Correctional Prison, it's not really a confession, it's an interview, when Tammy Lee and Graham Coder and Dave Baumhover went out to the prison to interview him, strangely, in February of 2019, is I put like timestamps of kind of all the things that we tend to talk about, like throughout the description. I think I don't know if I put them all in the description. I think I've got to almost of them. I have like 35 of them. And then they also visually appear in the video. So you can kind of find where it is you want to get information if you're looking for something specific, because a lot of people don't just go through and listen to the whole 4 hours and 40 minutes interview at this point, but some people do. But there's those markers for you. I needed to do it for myself, and then I wanted to pass it along to you guys so you can kind of navigate through that interview confession without, going crazy. Woo-hoo, cuckoo, cuckoo, right? So that's out there too, okay? So, all right, I'm going to bring this into the stream, and let's just check this out for a minute, and then we'll gather around. Thank you guys for being here. Come on in if you're just coming here. And oh my gosh, Sherry, you are so kind. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat, Sherry. Thank you so much. You are such a great support of this channel and me, and such a great friend and good person. And thank you for being here. And thank you so much. I really very much appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oops, it's this one. All right, guys. I'm gonna play this and then just take a listen. I just made this for you guys. This is Kelly from Watts the Obsession. Thanks for taking time to watch this video. Please click like and subscribe. Please be advised that this video will be discussing some facts and theories that are very difficult to hear. Viewer discretion is required.
She's pregnant as well. She's pregnant as well.
Baby! I'm right here. Uh-oh. No. Oh no. Oh no. What happened? What happened, baby? Save me, Mommy. I saved you. You're right here. You're safe. He's not going to get you. He's not a mean monster.
Hi guys, so we're doing the $600 drawing tonight for the 4K by the 25th. Everyone who reached 4K is getting their name into the drawing. So the first one is Chris Watts. Chris Watts.
I don't want him to really go in the ocean.
Ready, set?
You just get this one. Want this one, bigger one? There we go.
I love you too.
Definitely a tough topic. You know, Cece was just like so all over her dad. I mean, so was Bella. She just couldn't say, Daddy, I love you. I love you. I love you. She couldn't express that to him enough. He just had these absolutely beautiful, amazing, loving children. It's unthinkable topic to discuss. People have asked, you know, why do people say that Chris Watts took the lives of his daughters, Bella and Celeste, twice? I don't understand that. How is that even possible? Well, the story initiates, I believe, from Cheryln Cadle in her book, Letters from Christopher. And in Christopher Watts' own handwriting, he tells Cheryln about what happened that night. And Cheryln recounts his horrific story.
Admitted that he actually killed his daughters not once, but twice. Yes. What did he mean by that?
Well, the morning of, he went into his baby girls' rooms and took a pillow from their bed and smothered them.
Yesterday when you were talking, and again, this is before we kind of got to this moment today, you mentioned that we were talking, you said, I don't know where they are, I don't know where they are, and then you said something along the lines of, whatever happened to them, this act of pure evil. What does that mean?
This is the evil that I saw when I walked behind Shanann and she was on top of Cece. And then I felt evil for what I did to Shanann.
Okay.
Like at the end of the conversation, it's just like, that's what happened. I just wish I could have let go.
Did it seem like it was that long? 2 to 4 minutes? How long did it seem for you?
It almost kind of felt like it was longer almost, because it felt like time was standing still. It's kind of like I just saw my life just disappearing before my eyes, but it just like I couldn't let it go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not letting
You are
go.
seeing actual drive from Chris Watts' house to Survey 319.
Oh, you're gonna have a little brother or sister? Yeah, you think so? Fuck. July, baby?
Good girl, Bella. You're so sweet.
Give her a kiss, Bella? Give her a kiss?
Daddy home.
Daddy home?
No.
No.
Yeah? Let's do it. Do a little hair. Ready? Set?
Cece, what's
Cece,
Daddy
I
doing?
am so sorry.
Well, guys, there's absolutely no doubt that something horribly evil happened in that house. And the reason I think that something horribly evil happened in that basement, well, there's actually several reasons. So I'm going to put them all together for you. And I have a very concrete theory on this one. I think I know exactly what happened in the basement, or at least one of the horrible events that happened in the basement of the Watts house. Guys, for Bella and Cece Watts, whatever happened in that house in 2825 Saratoga Trail, what I believe happened in the basement before Chris Watts got into his truck. So now this ties into what happened in the basement too. So this is focusing on the idea of, and people have asked this question an awful lot lately, like, you know, people say, you know, Chris took the lives of his girls, of Bella and Celeste, twice. Like, what is up with that? This really reaches into a whole larger theory of crime on that evening. But for tonight, we're going to stay focused on the truth in the stories that Cheryln Cadle has shared. Truck brought his family with him in his truck in whatever state they were in, and took this desolate, isolated drive to Survey 319 before the girls went into the oil tanks. Whatever happened in that house was the last thing the girls experienced before they got into that truck to take their ride towards certain death. And to me, their experience matters. To me, their experience matters, and justice for them matters, regardless of whether there's a conviction on the books for this crime or not. That night, and Cheryln recounts his horrific story. I'm going to read you an excerpt from Cheryln Cadle's book, Letters from Christopher. So this is in Chris Watts' own handwriting, and that is not contended. Now, the story that he tells here, I think it's getting close to the truth. It's different than what he told the FBI, and it's different what he later told Cheryln Cadle, voice to voice, and several other people, including one person close to the Watts family who I spoke with myself well over a year ago. Let me first read to you what is in the book, Letters from Christopher, in Chris Watts' own handwriting. Please be aware, this is very hard to hear, and your discretion must be used. August 13th, the morning of. I went to the girls' room first, before Shanann and I had our argument. I went to Belle's room, then Cece's room, and used a pillow from their bed. That's why the cause of death was smothering. After I left Cece's room, I then climbed back into bed with Shanann, and our argument ensued. After Shanann had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. I'm not sure how they woke back up, but they did. It makes the act that much worse, knowing I went to their rooms first, and knowing I still took their lives at the oil field. That is such a hard story to take in, isn't it? I can remember the first time I heard that story, and I can remember just the absolute horror that resonated through me, just thinking about, my gosh, he killed his children twice.
And then he went into his room with Shanann and laid down next to her. They argued a little, and he murdered her. So then he was wrapping her in the sheets, and both girls got up and saw him and started questioning, what's wrong with mommy? What happened to mommy? Bella, the oldest one, was crying. She had obviously been traumatized. She had bruises above her eyes, and you could tell she'd been traumatized. And also, Cece was more kind of confused, but she was awake, the younger one. So they ran around the house, literally, and cried and was watching what was going on as he dragged Shanann down the stairs. He couldn't pick her up, or he tried to pick her up, but she was too heavy for him. They were in a 2-story home, so he drug her down the stairs.
Oh my goodness.
Put her in the back of his pickup truck, and then proceeded to put each of the girls in the back seat with their little feet dangling over the seat on top of their mommy. And they rode an hour like that to the oil fields.
He drove them to their burial ground.
Yes. So
they trusted their father.
Oh, of course they did. You know, they loved him. You know, Bella's seen on cameras singing the song, Daddy, You're My Hero. He was the one that was entrusted to take care of them.
You see investigators trying to recreate the scenario that Watts originally told investigators happened on that horrible night going into the early morning hours. So they are looking at the cameras that were looking into the girls' rooms to see if his original scenario is even possible.
Go back in there.
These are the beds the girls were in when Chris Watts
Back in
took
there.
the
I'll
pillows
tell you when you're not. When
and
you're
put
done.
them over his girls' faces to take their lives. It's unspeakable.
Yeah.
I just love Ella.
She's so sad. After we go night, now we can go to school. Class is not gonna be here.
Okay.
But she's not wearing dress. But she will be.
Wait a minute. I want to hear what she said there. Who's not going to be here? I'm just curious. I want to listen to her read this really quickly. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back. Speakable.
Yeah. Her God is she's so sad. After we go night, now we can go to school. Class is not gonna be here.
Okay.
But she's not wearing dress. But she will wear dress. But she will go there. But I can't hold it. But she will do that and wreck her. But she will do that with her.
Okay, finish reading. Come on.
I want to touch this.
Okay, now finish reading. Okay, come on. Mm-hmm.
Blankie? Yep, bye. Happy blankie. Oh, no, ma'am. Oh, no. No, Cece.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so all right. My gosh. Let me just stop that there. So yeah, so that is just, that really right there. To me, that is that to me was, especially when I first heard about it, and even so still now, one of the most chilling things that Cheryln Cadle revealed that she learned from her communication with Chris Watts. And it really just, it just throws a wrench in the whole theory that anyone had or may have as to what happened. So, it goes like this. We know that when Chris Watts was first questioned, interviewed, and it was really kind of turned into an interrogation, he wasn't going to give up anything. He wasn't even going to tell about his mistress. They really had to pull that out of him. Well, actually, they had to tell him that he, failed the polygraph exam. And then he says, well, the thing that I'm lying about is my mistress. Oh my gosh, I can't believe, I forgot I lied to you about my mistress. It wasn't that I did something really bad. I didn't commit a capital crime. It's just that I've been seeing this girl, he wasn't going to give up anything. And then of course he said that it was Shanann who took the lives of the girls, and therefore he had to take Shanann's life. And, I don't believe it at all. I think that there's some things that could have been contentious, could have happened that night, but I do not believe that personally at all. And then finally, after he was sentenced, after he was charged, after he was sentenced, after he was on his way, he got himself out of Colorado like he wanted to and got himself into a different state because, in that interview, he tells the investigators, oh my God, this part of the interview actually makes me crazy, where he's like, I had to get out of there. He's like, they were actually, telling me to off myself. Like he couldn't believe it. And, after, he had done what he did. And from our perspective as, normal thinking, functioning minds who aren't completely sick, we're like, yeah, dude, that is one of the most heinous crimes you could ever commit in your entire life. No wonder, the prison population, even people who had committed crimes, and I'm not saying they're all terrible people because they're not, many of them can and will be rehabilitated. Some of them can't and won't be rehabilitated, right? It's an individual situation. But, you know, he was like shocked that they were even suggesting like, oh, his precious life, like he should take his precious life. Like, yeah, Chris, even in this environment that you're in right now and you're looking down on everyone, you need to understand, honey, you are officially the lowest of the low due to what you yourself did. And I think to this day, he still doesn't get it. He certainly did not have any grasp of that concept when the three investigators went and interviewed him at Dodge Correctional Facility in February of 2019. Now, he had just been, you know, in prison. He had just been sentenced 3 months ago. It was still pretty new. But I really don't think that he has any sense of what a piece of shit he is right now. What do you guys think about that? The question is, do you think Chris Watts has a sense of what a piece of crap he is? I mean, I'm really interested to know what you guys think about that. I think from everything, you know, we have heard from him kind of like second-handedly through Cheryln Cadle or at any means, he really is just in his kind of self-righteous, pious devotion to the Lord land. You know, he and Dylan, I want to say Thomas, but that's also a poet. But is it also Dylan Thomas? He and his cellmate came out with that book, the Daily Devotional Book. Have you guys seen that? It is a real thing. I'll show it to you if you haven't seen it. Ooh. I will not be spending my time on Chris Watts' daily devotional. I'll tell you that much. And I would not advise any teenagers I work with to do so or anyone else in this world. Oh my God. This takes my breath away. I'm going to share this with you here. Have you guys seen this? I was just like reading some of the language with it. Let's take a look at it. This is real. This is real. This feels like it should be a joke, but it's real. Weird. After what we know he did, and we hear, you know, like in this channel, you guys that are, you know, following the crime know it so intimately and just in all the horrible ways. To see that he comes out with this, he's authored this. Oh my gosh. Here, I'm going to actually take myself down so you can see all the goodness that there is to see here. So it'll be a little bit bigger. I don't know. This is like causing me almost to have a panic attack. I'm getting like a little short of breath. I don't know why I'm like having this reaction to it. I've already seen it a few times, but I just really don't like it. You know, tell me what you think about it. So the cover says, "For the glory of God." And then the smaller print says, "Fulfilling the Christian purpose in the messiness." Okay. "Fulfilling the Christian purpose in the messiness of life." This came out in 2021, or that's when it was. This is the right one, right? I'm like, no, this is the right one. Right? Yes. Chris Watts. This is just like boggle. Yeah. I mean, and it has the Cheryln books connected to it. I'm just going to pop back and chat in case someone's telling me that I'm like, they think I'm smoking crack or something. But yeah, yuck, just yuck. I know. Who said that? Yes, Susie Q. Yeah. So listen, I do have to say another thing. I was actually I'm going to bring this back for a minute. All right. Listen, everybody. It gets hard for my moderators when we talk about the Watts case, and it gets hard for me too, because, well, I mean, and I will shoulder it because I put all of this out there and I'm, you know, hosting this whole thing and I've created this platform. But listen, it is no secret that, okay, I have feelings about Shanann. I think it's horrible, god awful that she lost her life. I think she was a person that had tons of value to her life, meaning people that loved her, great friends. She had so many people that loved her, her family. My God, the loss of her and her children is the worst thing that could ever happen to them. I mean, her life is priceless. It's precious. It should still be going on. It is an absolute horrible crime, a mortal sin, Chris Watts, that her life was taken along with her daughters. You know, at times when I have spoken about the issues of the family dynamics, it's for this reason. And I've said this a million times, and I'm going to say it again because I feel like it needs to keep being said. Listen, Shanann Watts' life was taken when she was only 33 years old, okay? So as our lives go on, we all do great things and we all do really shitty things, okay? Like, let's just admit it. We've all done fucked up things, right? All of us, okay? So if somebody is looking at every step, every moment, every, frame, so to speak, of our life, they're going to see all of those things, okay? So say, your life stops, in a moment where, and I'm not saying Shanann was doing the most terrible things anyone could do, but, in a low point of your life, she was at a low point of her life, okay? She was pregnant. Her husband was cheating on her. Her husband told her that he didn't want to have the baby anymore. She was facing another bankruptcy. She was involved in these MLMs that were, kind of scamming her over. I know that she must have in her heart of hearts been really anxious about that. Any young mother of young children, has some uncertainty and insecurity in themselves about doing the right thing for their children. I know she was feeling all of these things. She's a freaking human being. Of course she was. So she wasn't at her like smooth sailing high, like honeymoon part of her life, right? So you take a snapshot of that and you say, oh, look at all these things she did yesterday and last week and last year and last year and last year. And, you can make judgment calls on them. Well, she didn't get to live another day to grow all the wiser and learn from her lessons and evolve to become a different person who made different choices, who made better choices, and we would see that result. So it's really not fair to judge her like in a totality sense. When I have spoken about the family dynamics, is because as much as I have Shanann in my heart, I am a behavioral therapist. I've always worked with children. I've always spoke up for children. I do think that there were issues of family dynamics where the children got the short end of the stick by far in that home. And I don't want to go any further into it tonight because that's not the topic at hand. And we have to be careful when we make that the focus on this channel because things can get out of hand. And I do not want this to become a place for people to bash anybody, especially a victim. With all that being said, let me be really clear about this. I said this the other day during a live stream. I'm going to say it again. I've had this channel for over 3 years now. I can count on my digits, on my hands, the number of times somebody has actually said to me, typed it in, I read it, or spoken it and I heard it. The number of times somebody has said, freaking bleep, 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 mother effing Shanann Watts, she deserved this. She brought it on herself. She deserved this. Nobody thinks that. Nobody has said that. Even with the foulest things that people say, having a YouTube channel for 3 years, true crime, this case, I've heard horrible things. But you know what I never hear? Less than 10 times, I promise you, I'm certain of it. Nobody ever says, she deserved this or this should have happened to her, because nobody thinks that, because it's not true. That's a disgusting, horrible person thought. And if it's your thought in your mind, you better go scrub your mind out, go put yourself in timeout and come back when you get your head together. Like, nobody thinks that. So we're not even going to have that discussion here anymore. Nobody thinks she deserved it. Nobody here should have to defend themselves saying, oh, I'm not saying that I think that she deserved this horrible murder of herself and her children, because literally nobody thinks that. So let's move on to a higher level discussion, because I promise you, nobody thinks that. And so if you're one of the people that's going to start accusing people of that, you can go put yourself in the other timeout corner and come back when you get your head together, because we're just not going to have that conversation anymore. It gets really tiring, because nobody thinks that. It's a stupid discussion because it's not real. Okay. All right. So here we've got Chris Watts' daily devotional. Oh my God. So life is messy and complicated. Yeah, think. So many things compete for our time and attention, like Nicole Kessinger and my wife and my family. As followers of Christ, I mean Satan, I mean Christ, I don't know. We are expected to navigate things like politics, sex, families, identity, and tragedy while maintaining our focus on what matters the most. Well, some of us can get away with that, Chris Watts, without killing our whole family, but apparently you can't. If we do not have a clear understanding of the Christian purpose, how can we hope to be holy in a world that pulls at us constantly? Oh no, man, that's just life. This is weird to me. Even if we do have a good grasp on the purpose God has planned for us, how do we fulfill it in some of the complex, nuanced areas of life? What is he actually saying here? He's using a bunch of words that are saying nothing. How can we keep a grip on holy identity? What the hell is holy identity when the world screams so many distracting false things at us? Join me as we tackle these questions together and then ultimately ask, how can we glorify God? Guys, I don't know about that. I don't What do you guys think about that? Ooh. I don't think I've ever said cringy before being seriously. It's usually like my son's like, oh, my mom is so cringy. But I'm going to say cringy. Wow. What do you guys think about that? Jesus' age was 33. Is that what you're saying? Sounds about right, but I don't know. This is like a little off topic, but this is just like so intriguing me. I have to pull this one. In the police footage, you could see Shanann's face morphing in the playroom that was the dining room. You could see an apparition in the kitchen area at the back door. Oh, are you talking about when the police went in for the September lady situation? Is that what you're talking about? I need to take this book down. Sorry. That's bugging me out. We can bring it back up if we need to, but I don't know. I have a bad reaction to that. He cannot profit from the book. No, he can't profit from, well, he can't profit, period. I mean, I think that is the situation that there is the Slayer. There's a Slayer law in Colorado. No, so he can't profit from anything having to do with a crime. And the only profit that he is allowed to have is for his menial jobs that are assigned to him through the prison, because that's basically what's entailed in the Slayer law. Yeah. Hi, Jen. Jen says, hi, beautiful people. YouTube will hold back your comments if they disagree with a word. Let's be careful with what we say. Thanks, guys. You rock. Well, that is true. YouTube is really very controlling. YouTube is using coercive control over our chat. Hi, Nilda. How are you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see you. He should be in solitary confinement. Well, I mean, if he deserves to be, but, solitary confinement on its own, I do believe is kind of cruel and unusual punishment. Not that obviously what he did to his family is cruel and unusual punishment, but, in the spirit of not being barbaric, I feel you though. I feel you. Gosh, I can't keep up with it. Is chat going okay speed for you guys? See, I heard Chris. Sherry says, I heard Chris talk in jail. I was like, holy shit. I've never heard you swear before, Sherry. That must be powerful. It's so convenient to try to justify evil by hiding behind religion. Bravo. Well said. Yeah. Amen. Yeah, truth. Oh, what did truth say? What did we give an amen to? Can I hear a hallelujah? What did you give an amen to? That's a big deal. All right. Let's see. Oh, hey, Truth Seeker. No, Truth Stalker. Truth Stalker. I've got Truth Seeker and Truth Stalker. I'm sorry. I'm like leaning into left contact eye in both eyes, not able to see well. I don't trust a person who claims to follow Christ who still has not told the truth about what happened that morning. Good call, Kim. Amen. That's a good one. Yeah. Fully. 100% on that. Let's see. Kurt Stacy, hello, friend. Always makes me smile when you're here. Kurt Stacy says he's trying to justify his actions by becoming a Christian and trying to explain his actions through his own journey at this book. Exactly. And I think that's what I was picking up on, Kurt Stacy, when I was reading it. I was like, what are you talking about? You're not even saying anything. Like, I guess, where he's at in his journey is fine. And maybe someone else who's at a similar place, hope not too many people in their journey might relate to that book and that fluff that he put out. But I'm like, that's where he's at. That's where he's at. But I mean, it shows that he's at a very low level place in his spiritual evolution. I really don't. I think I'm being sincere in saying this. I don't judge people's spiritual place, but I don't know. What he's done is so terrible. I feel bad even judging his spiritual place, but I'm judging it. He's at a low place. He's in a low spiritual place, obviously. Why was that hard for me to say? Oh my gosh. Teacup says, I'm surprised that book didn't start with the word like. Good one. I like it. Yeah. No amount of religion can take away what he did. Absolutely. And that is the bottom line, right? Those words are hollow. Sure are. Yeah, they are. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to pull in something else into the stream here. I did have Cherylyn's last book up here, but when I open Chris Watts' book, it's shut down, and I'm going to have to open my Kindle thing back up again. But it's okay because I'm going to bring you when her book first came out, we discussed all these matters in a live stream, and I put together a little something for that. So I'm going to bring that in right now. Which is essentially the points we'd be bringing up anyway. So we can just springboard from those and discuss. Springboard. Let's see who's in chat. Ara and, is that, I'm sure, Honeybutt? I'm not sure. And we do know that in the basement. Okay. Check out that video. Let me just get my bearings here. Okay. All right, we know that. I was just driving the point home of her search before she met Shanann or Chris at this time. Answer to the question of why or how those dates ended up.
So I'm going to.
And get comfortable. You can express your opinion. We allow that on this channel. I please just ask that you are respectful to one another. You know, it would make sense that, yes, she might not have verbatim quotes. She might not have a recording. I already covered this with you guys in the beginning, how Cheryln Cadle tends to tell things in a way where you're not sure if she's even saying this came directly from Chris or this is an opinion I made based on what he said or a theory that I just pulled out of my wahoo. I don't know. Hosts or hostess and hosts, but maybe they wanted to stay in the basement for privacy. We don't know that. Okay. So here in her most recent book, so in this live stream was talking about her most recent book that came out and of a year. Wait, I can tell you when it was because I made this live stream right like the week the book came out. So this live stream is from, what does it say? Ow. 6 months ago. So yeah, I think it was like around February, right? So the book came, the book came out and I read it and we talked about it because it was a quick read because I was so interested. So this is one of the things that she says, that Chris met Nicole Kessinger at a gym in 2017 when Shanann Watts' parents were staying with Shanann and Chris. You know, they stayed with them for, I think it was 9 months while Shanann was pregnant with Cece or when Cece was just born to help her out because she claimed that, you know, the lupus, this was a really hard pregnancy. They wanted to help her out. They wanted to see their grandbabies. They wanted to be with their daughter and their grandbabies, of course. So, you know, and it wasn't even clear to me when she was upon first read, I think I have a grip on it now, if she was saying that Chris said this or is Cheryln Cadle saying that she thinks this may be the case. And what she is saying is she believes this may be the case and she's telling us why. Okay. A little bit. And so you can see that maybe for yourself. Okay. So one thing she says is that Chris met Nicole Kessinger in the gym in 2017 when Shanann Watts' parents were staying in the basement. So this is something that we do know to be true. Shanann Watts' parents did stay with Chris and Shanann for a while, for I think it was the better part of a year, and they were staying in the basement. Now, some people say, well, why is that? Because they had 4 bedrooms upstairs. Each girl had a bedroom. There was a playroom that was really a bedroom. And there was the first floor office that was also a bedroom. So this is a 5-bedroom house. Why were they staying in the basement? Well, we really don't know. You know, sometimes it seems like, you know, not hospitable, you know, hosts or hostess and hosts, but maybe they wanted to stay in the basement for privacy. We don't know that. So I just want to say that there, because even in comments on a previous video I put out the other day, some people commented on that, but we just don't know why that is. So they did stay in the basement, and we do know that in the basement is where Chris Watts had his workout set up. So it would make sense. This is one of the things that is said in the book that I believe very well might be true. Because based on what we know, what we just went over in this live stream about Nicole Kessinger searching for, well, she searched for Chris Watts in August of 2017. And then she searched for Shanann Watts on September 1st of 2017. And that is the item that is the first item in the official discovery timeline. And DA Rourke confirmed that that was actually from her phone. So we know that she searched those two in August and September of 2017. So how the hell did she know to search those names if Chris and Nikki didn't even work together yet? And according to both of them, they didn't meet until May or June of 2018. So I personally think this is plausible. What do you guys think? Gregory Ware says, I thought every author had a tape recorder stuck to his or her hip. Well, you know, you'd think so too, right? And Ara says, 408 watching, 103 like. Please hit like. Yeah, please hit like when you get a moment. I'd really appreciate it. You know, y'all know what the deal is there. So, oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna get to the issues of her involvement. I promise. They're coming up. All right. So what else does Cheryln Cadle say in the book that was just released, The Many Faces of Christopher Watts by Cheryln Cadle? She says that Chris and Nicole took Bella and Cece to the park, or more accurately, she says that Nicole Kessinger met Bella and Cece. And the way she explains it is this, that Chris took Bella and Cece to a park, and Nicole just kind of like ran into them like, oops, like she was any other person in the park.
Let me just answer this really quick because a few people are talking about this in chat. I put this out there once before, and it became a hot empanada, shall we say? With the what I know to be the first discovery that I know to exist, okay? And in other people that have it called the original, somebody can like really, you know, went up against me with saying that is not, so that's all I can say about it, okay? But if somebody asked, is it redacted? It's redacted, yeah. But you know, they're all, anything put out to the public, I believe, I mean, is going to be redacted. But yeah, so if limited time offering, and I will only share it over a Google Drive for reasons, because I want to know where it's going, because people have done some slimy things, to be honest. Okay, so that's why. Okay. If you're interested in that, send me an email at wattsobsession@gmail.com this weekend, and please put original discovery in the email, and I will give you access to it. Okay. All right.
So the girls wouldn't have anything to go home and tell mom about, right? Because we can easily see how that would happen. Kids say whatever's on their mind, right? And if Chris was like, don't tell mom you talked to this person, as soon as they walked in the door, Bella would be like, Mom, right? So in the book, it is said that Nicole came up to the girls and was questioning them. And that was the verbiage that was used in the book, which was kind of weird. And the way it's explained is to make it sound as though it's almost like a trial of Kessinger meeting Bella and Cece, like to see how it's going to go, right? So, I mean, do you guys think that that's true? I should have like created some kind of a survey so we can vote on each of these.
That's well said. McJay just said, the discovery that I have is the least redacted. Okay, that's a great way to say that. And the reason that I think we're kind of talking about the way we are now is, you know, I don't work for District Attorney Rourke's office. God forbid, never would like to overturn it, but that's a whole different story. So, you know, I can only tell you what was told when it came out, or the time frame when it did come out. But to make absolute statements that people might argue with is just not worth it. So it is, I believe, the original redacted discovery. And in also describing it, McJay says it is the least redacted of all of the copies, and that is accurate. Good call, McJay. Thank you.
Let's see. Does anyone actually, you know what? So if anyone wants to come up on panel and kind of go over these with me, you're welcome to. I know you're just asking Ara. If you'd like to come up, you're more than welcome to. Or if anyone else does, please just come on up and we can kind of go through these together.
You know what? I'm going to hold that for this live stream too. If anybody is like dying to say something, come on up. I don't know if I'm going to keep people up here like forever and chat, because I do have some stuff I want to get through. But if you are, I never am good at like kind of cycling people through, but we'll just see what happens. If anybody does want to come up, I'm going to just put that link up. Talk about whether y'all think that they're true or not. So there is the link to panel. And hey, if you're new to the channel, it's okay. Come on up. It's all good. Don't be shy. Your opinion is totally a-okay. Again, just please be respectful to one another and all that. And everyone today. Let me move forward a little bit here. Okay.
Bodily, like
okay. So we'll have our own discussion rather than the old 2017. One. Also, no offense, Ara. And is that she also would have seen who's the
all they were
person?
doing was talking.
Anyone?
He never brought it up. I'm sure he did.
It's not. Yep. That was that. Let me get to the next heading. Okay, here we go. Things that I've talked about so far, and just basically everything I'm going to point out. There was a point in Cheryln Cadle's book. They have all been in the rumor mill over the years. Some of them, in my opinion, being rumors that have some validity to them as being real possibilities. Some of them are clear speculation. It kind of is my opinion, and I'm sorry, Cheryln Cadle, but that this book was marketed and geared towards the kind of person that wants to know everything and anything about Nicole Kessinger, including her real name, which I'm going to get to, which Cheryln Cadle says she knows. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. And Cheryln Cadle threw everything but the kitchen sink into this book to appeal. Okay, so someone just asked here, who is this? Guys, please be nice to each other in chat. Seriously, please, like, I mean it when I say it, like at the end of live streams, like, life is hard. Please be nice to each other. Like, life is really fucking hard. We all know this. Please be nice to each other here. Really, please be nice. Please be kind and respectful. You might completely not agree, but we have to be adults. We've got to do that. I'm just going to ask you to do it here, okay? Oh, Tracy, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but I saw some. I'm sorry about that, Tracy. I'm sorry. I have no idea what happened, but I don't want anyone to be offended or feel like they have to leave. Let's see. Michelle G says, is that how NK found out how little they were? However she said it. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Where is... Yeah, Anaphylaxis and McJay and Jody is cool and I don't know. Kevin and who else is here? That's moderator Jen. Our moderators, please just follow what the guidelines they're providing for you, okay? And I'm so sorry. I'm sure I missed someone. Yeah, is that you up there on panel right now in this old live stream? Is what I was asking. I wonder if she's watching. Possibly. A lot of people believe that she does. Let's see. Maybe McJay will post the Facebook group again. She's better at that than I am. Let's see. There it is. Kez Chick posted it. Thank you, Kez. Oh my gosh. And Kez Chick, my gosh, I'm so sorry, Kez. I was still thinking like you're on your sabbatical. Kelly, leave Jim alone. Leave Jim alone. Let's see. Oh, good. Justice A through Z is up here. So I'm going to bring her up and then we'll continue. I'm sorry. I found a couple comments that I wanted to pin, but I lost some. So sorry about that. I'll be looking for them again. Hey, girl. What's up? How are you doing?
Hey, lady. I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm just thinking. So I removed it. I removed it.
So I removed it. Sorry.
Yep. Like, in other words, destroyed evidence. Hello.
Right. And so I destroyed evidence. Yeah, I know, right? She has fancy words for everything.
What was that ridiculous thing she said about it was the hurt that did this?
It was the hurt that caused, and it was the lies that it made no sense. It was word salad. It was emptiness words.
Oh, she's just so gross.
It was like Chris Watts with his write-up of his freaking daily devotional book.
Yeah, that's really atrocious.
Yeah.
Now, to go over the ages of, wasn't Chris a couple years younger than Shanann? Wasn't he like 31 at the time? And NK was 30.
Okay, so Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Okay. So Shanann, wait. So Shanann, when she passed away, was 35. Is that correct? I'm getting
That
my
sounds more like it. I was thinking like 34,
and
35.
he was 33. Let me just look this up.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
Because once in a while, people will refer to NK as the younger woman. And
Surely. Okay, so
right.
Shanann was 34 when she was murdered. I mean, I guess we're not going to say passed away. She was murdered. That's what was up. And let's see, how old was Chris Watts?
I think you're right about the 33.
Yeah, he was just slightly younger than her.
Yeah. Now, was it in your last chat? I think it was in your last chat. Maybe it was in a different channel, but somebody was like not. I don't think they knew about the cancer that Shanann spotted on Chris's junk.
Okay, well, that is so that is a story that is told by Shanann's mom. And so the story that is told by Shanann's mom, and I can only say it like this, because this is where we hear the story from. So, I mean, this is like such a random topic. Thank you, friends, for keeping me on my toes. Shanann's mother, in her letter to law enforcement, to Dave Baumhover specifically, and this is in the Discovery. I believe it's in the Discovery. Gosh, I'm a little wishy-washy on my facts tonight for some reason. I feel like on not uncertain ground. It must be the evil Chris Watts energy beneath my feet. No, I shouldn't say that. I don't want evil Chris Watts energy near me. But she says that Shanann found a spot on Chris Watts. Okay, let's go with junk. And she forced him to get it checked out. It was proven to be cancerous. It was removed, and therefore Shanann saved his life. That was the story.
And then I think, is it the commenter, is it J Lord, who says it was debunked?
Well, I mean, how are we going to debunk the shit that was on Chris Watts' junk at a certain time? You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if I want that one debunked, but I mean, I don't mean to be anyone who's, participating in this conversation. Please know I'm trying to like not be respectful, but like, I'm asking seriously too, like, why does it matter?
Why does it matter about the cancer?
Yeah, if that story was true or not. It was probably HPV, very likely, something like that. Or maybe it was just freaking like eczema or skin tag or herpes, or it could have been anything, But cancer is like, I don't know. That's what her mom's. I'm here. I'll try to find a discovery. But why? I'm just curious. This is going to depend on how far I'm going to go down this road. Why do we want to know? I mean, is this going somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Justice A through Z. I'm trying to not say it in a way that sounds like snide, because it's not. I'm not saying it like that. But I'm just wondering why
I was just stunned to hear anybody say it was debunked, because I had never heard that.
Well, how would you debunk that? To know that in a certain time in their marriage, what kind of crap was on Chris Watts' junk and what was done about it? I mean, do we really want to know about that? I personally do not.
Right. I know. I don't like thinking about it.
I know. I mean, I think junk was the right word that you used, but yeah. Okay. So shall we move past that, do you think?
Sure.
Okay, I'll let you moderate that one.
We can edit that part out.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't know how to ask the question. Like, where are we going with this? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just read what J Lord said, since they're new here. J Lord says, how are you, sweetheart? I can't believe anyone would send a picture to parents. I don't think it matters either. Kelly, I heard Chris say he didn't have melanoma on his male parts. Who really knows? Right. Yeah, I know, because they both well, or is it just, I don't know, there's a part, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's Cindy Watts or if it's just Sandy Rusick that at some point talks about sending photos of private parts to the parents. I'm like, what are these people doing? This is weird. Like, my parents are not receiving pictures of my significant other. No, they're not receiving pictures of anyone's parts. it's just, that was a strange one, right? So, yeah.
So are you saying that Shanann showed a picture of it to her mother?
I'm not sure. Now I'm going to have to verify the story. I'm not sure. But I just want to read what Debbie Crum said here. Debbie Crum says, I think it was to say how Shanann saved his life. That was the takeaway I got from it too, Debbie. That was totally the takeaway that I got from it. I think that was the point of the story, right? Here, I'm gonna search the word cancer in the discovery, see what we come up with, because it's I bet it doesn't appear too much. Is that letter in the discovery? Maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure. So anyway, what else are you thinking about? What else is on your mind other than Chris Watts' junk, justice A through Z?
Oh, that's all I ever think about. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Please.
Gross. Well, I feel very confident in my theory that he's obviously crazy, and that in my opinion, it seems like it was delusional of him, this whole story about how they came back to life. I know that can happen. I don't think it happened with them. And I think my theory is that the reason he wants to put that out there is he wants to portray that they were still alive when they left the house, because I think that he's afraid that it's going to be found out that NK was at the house, and he wants to try to keep her name clear. So if he didn't finish them off until he got there, because I don't believe any of that story. I don't believe that a couple of little girls are going to be like basically quiet for 50 minutes of a drive.
Yeah, I don't believe that story either. But what I did, this was a kind of topic of discussion a little bit on the channel recently when I put out the video about what happened in the basement. Is I don't believe that. I do believe that he tried to take their lives at the house at some point. I don't know if when he tells people it is the truth, because he's always trying to manipulate things for perception, right?
Right.
But and I do believe that Bella woke back up and she was conscious. And I think the way that he described some things about her when she woke back up that were troubling in his emotional reaction to it, I found them to be tells of him actually being honest, because for him, his tells of deception are like not really present because he's deceptive all the time. So where he expresses, nonverbal tells is when he's actually telling the truth, and that's just through his expression of emotion. Tell me if you can hear my gamer child in the background, because I'm going to pummel him if you can. He's being too loud. I'm like, can you just please be quiet while I'm doing a live stream? Please, 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 because he runs the house every other moment of the day. But I don't think that Celeste ever regained conscious. And I think that's why there was so much quiet on the way to Survey 319, is because Bella was the only one who was conscious and Celeste was not. And Bella was terrified, and Bella was more quiet by nature. And, as we had talked about, the only child that Chris mentions ever says anything from the time that he's in the bedroom with Shanann until the very end is Bella. And she says, Daddy, it smells. Daddy, are you going to do to me what you did to Cece? And Daddy, no. And what did you do? What did you do to Mama? And is Mommy going to be all right? There's 5 statements that he assigns to Bella from the time when he's in the bedroom after Shanann until the very end, and he assigns 0 statements to Cece. Now, what do we know about Cece versus Bella's personality? Cece was the more talkadocious by far. Bella was much more quiet and reserved, and especially with their interaction with Chris, Cece and Chris were just like, sparks flying. They were chemistry, and Bella and Chris had a little more of like an awkward, like less communicative relationship from my perspective, from my observations. That's what I believe. So all of that to me is in line with the truth that Chris is telling. Is the statements that Bella did say, he correctly assigned them to Bella. He omitted, any things that Cece said, but made it sound like she was going along with it. Why did he do that? Because Cece didn't say anything, because she never regained consciousness after what happened at the house.
So I think Chris really told on himself in that interview in February of 2019 when one of the questions they were asking him about why there was so much activity on the Vivint on the stairs going down to the garage.
Basement.
Thank you. I always
Yeah.
do that. Okay. And I was trying not to, and I did it anyway.
It's okay.
So the stairs going down to the basement.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's important to get it right. And he kind of, this is what I think he does when it's a real tell of him lying, is that he kind of mumbles and he trails off and he says,
and he lets them finish the sentence for him.
His response was, I don't think I worked out that morning.
Well, here, we can actually play that. I've got that.
I don't think I worked out that morning. You mean the morning that you offed your family? You can't remember whether you did a workout or not?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But to me, that just gives it away that it was more feet on the stairs than just him, you know?
Yeah, no, it does. Here, let's actually listen to that part here. But that sorry.
I love the way you do that. I love the way you just pull it right out.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's all because, well, it really is all connected to the topic that we're talking about. That's like usually my like consecutive live streams, even if they are over like a 6-month period, they're all like intertwined with one another. So like so it just kind of happens itself. So this goes along with I just got to find the video, what happened in the basement video, and hold it. Just gotta find it. Okay, here it is. All right, so if you have not watched this video that I made and put out, it's about a month ago. It has like 132,000 views. This is one of, I think, I put a lot into this video. I put a lot of facts together. I put a lot of research together. There were little bits and pieces of it that were coming together for a while, but for me, this is the most that I'm ever going to put out as far as my theory or speculation about what happened. And it is all evidence-based, but I personally believe, or I wouldn't have put it out there. I'm not like bragging over, somebody else's theory. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't put any theory out there at all. I would just keep my mouth shut like I have for years and be like, I don't know, unless I felt like I had it all sewed together pretty nicely. And I do feel like it's sewed together pretty nicely here. So here, let's see here. I just got to find the part where they ask this here. Yeah. Hold it. I'm going to bring this into the stream, and I'm kind of mumbling to myself here now. Thank you for letting me mumble to myself. All right. Okay.
We were talking, he said, I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are.
Okay.
Like at the end of the conversation, it was just like,
reason. So straight this way goes 30.
So they say he hasn't been that.
Okay, here it is. All right, I got it. Okay. Ding, 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 ding.
Were very interested in the basement. They didn't ask a whole lot of pointed questions, which was really surprising and strange for such a long interview.
This is of course in regards to the February 2019 interview from Dodge Correctional Facility Prison in Wisconsin.
Little is known about the actual details of the crime, but one thing they did ask specific questions on was, did Watts go into the basement? And they explain a little bit about why, and I'll expand more on that later in this video.
What other things did you do that maybe we even missed?
Someone watched. Yeah. I got through the therapy book she wanted me to read in the trash.
That was that morning?
I think so.
Were you trying to make it look like she threw it in the trash?
I don't know. I just didn't think nothing was ever going to work again. So I didn't know what was going on.
What a dumbass.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door open.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah. So there was a lot of movement. I think it was around 426 or something.
Right around 426.
Yeah, it was.
What you were doing all during that time?
You had a lot of steps. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
So like the basement, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I really have down there is my workout, the bench press. Whatnot.
Do you remember going down there for anything or opening that door for anything? Did you think about, well, maybe I'll take her out that way, or is it a walkout basement?
No,
I wasn't at your house. Okay.
that's like a garden level basement. So.
Okay.
But no, I don't know the place. What's that? I don't think I worked out that morning.
Like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen? Like, did you have to do all that normal stuff? Okay.
I packed lunch and everything. Did all that.
He's
I
got
don't
the
remember
strangest way of mumbling, Kelly.
I know he does.
Like,
I know.
like he just
Unless
is
I
like
just worked out that
making all
morning, I
these
just don't
weird
remember.
sounds.
I know.
No words.
Well, he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to be
Let's-
talking it. I mean, he's on the, you know, he doesn't want here. Let's listen. So
It
we
really makes me think that they did take her out through the basement and out the back, because I remember the other time where he said real specifically that there's no video cameras, there's no surveillance cameras back there.
Yeah, well, there is definitely something about the basement, but you know, the point of, and that might be something about the basement too. The point of the particular video that I made, I'm taking these excerpts out of, that one of the things that he was uncomfortable about in the basement was that after, you know, and this is the information that we learned from Cheryln Cadle, after he tried to take his beautiful baby's life twice, one time in the house, and Bella regained full consciousness somehow, but was very upset. And they say, and Cheryln Cadle talks about how, did we even get to that part of it? I don't know, about how she was like, you know, bruised and she was upset and she was crying, and Cece does not. He thought that Cece was deceased. So he took her down in the basement, tried to put her into I'm sorry, guys. I've just got to say it like it is. Okay. So if you don't want to hear this, you need to stop listening right now. Okay. He tried to put his daughter, Cece, into the freezer in the basement, found that she wouldn't fit, as we know, where one of the dogs, Jane's dog Scout, gives serious interest and indication is right by that freezer where those plastic totes are. So he's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with her? She's not fitting in the basement. He was initially, this is the theory, this is my theory, he was planning on at first leaving them there, assuming that everyone was going to be gone until he could return from wherever he was going. Maybe he was going to take care of Shanann out at Survey. I'm not sure exactly what he was going to do, but so she didn't fit in the freezer. He put her in a plastic tote in the basement, set her down there temporarily. She did regain, she wasn't completely gone at that point. She regained some semblance of life, but it wasn't like it would be with like, she didn't come back to being herself. Like, you know, maybe she didn't talk again. Maybe she didn't walk again. She would have been essentially, her brain was lacking oxygen for too long. You know, part of her brain had been damaged. But, you know, he says in this other part of the letter here that he says himself, that is why he believes that Scout, the dog, hit in the basement, because that happened. You know, this is something that he says, and I personally do believe that. Kurt Stacy's here. Let me bring Kurt Stacy up. Hey, my friend. How are you doing, my darling? Great to see you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Awesome. Are you listening along?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts? And then I also want to see if Justice A through Z has anything to say about what I just had said there. What are you thinking?
Hey, Kurt.
Hi.
Nice to see you again. We haven't been on panel together in forever.
I know.
So I was curious about what Jesse Essex asked. Why did he take that photo of the freezer down there? Do you have the ability to show the photo that she's talking about, if you know the photo she's talking about?
I have the ability to show where it's entered into Discovery.
Sure. Just the photo of the freezer.
Here, let me bring it up. I think it's just the mention of it. Well, we're going to see here. Just one second.
And so what you were saying, Kelly, was that was just Cece that he had in those. Yeah, it's hideous. those containers in the basement, but not
I
Bella.
know. Yeah.
But not Bella.
Not Bella. Here, let me just, okay, let me do this. Well, let me play. It's let's see, a total of
It literally
it's
turns
4 minutes in this video that I already have prepared here. Is it okay if we watch that, Kurt, and then I'll give you first comment after that?
Of course.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna listen to that segment that you were referring to, Justice A through Z, of when he was asked about, did you go in the basement in the Dodge Correctional Facility interview? And then I'm going to read that letter from Christopher Watts to Cheryln that's addressing exactly what we're talking about right now.
And I just want to say, it literally makes my stomach hurt. It's so disgusting.
Absolutely, it does. It absolutely does. So,
but I love that you and other people continue to hammer away at this case until full justice and truth are achieved.
At this point, it has to happen. This is the way I look at it. People, I'm saying we, all of us here, and
all
if you're like, I'm not there yet, I'm sorry, I don't mean to include you with us, but many of us here, I know, have been going so deep into this for so long and following every avenue to an end. And I really feel like what stands in the way of complete justice and, myself and God right now is fucking District Attorney Rourke.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
He needs to go.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he outed him.
He has one term left, but it's a long 4 years. But I promise you, Mr. Rourke, if you serve another term, maybe not every day because I do have other things to do in life, but I promise you at least every week for those next 4 years, I'm going to be here with all these people and we are going to be working away and chipping away at your integrity, your word, your professionalism, your track record, your history, your legal calls, your decisions to prosecute, your decisions to accept plea, and all of the rest, all the financial stuff. I have all of that in my hot little hand right now. Actually, it's in this folder over here, but that's what will happen for the next 4 years. Right, Kurt?
And he chips away at it himself. You're just greasing the wheels.
That's right.
The wheels of justice.
I'm just gonna follow my little dust broom and my dustpan, and I'm just gonna keep like dusting up your shit that you're creating yourself, and then I'm gonna just present it, and it's gonna be all that there is to it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna listen to this. Here we go. Questions on was, did Watts go into the basement? And they explain a little bit about why, and I'll expand more on that later in this video.
Watch. Yeah.
So she said, she goes, what other things did you do that we maybe even missed? And then this is where it starts, okay?
Through the therapy books she wanted me to read in the trash.
That was that morning?
I would probably, I think.
Were you trying to make it look like she threw it in the trash?
I don't know. I just didn't think nothing was going to work again. I didn't know what was going on.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door open.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah. So there was a lot of movement. I think it was around 4:26 or something. Garage door opening, the basement door opening, and then of course the living room sensors and all. Do you remember what you were doing all during that time?
You had a lot of steps. I'll just say that.
So like the basement, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I really have down there is my workout. The bench press.
Do you remember going down there for anything or opening that door?
Well, you're a lying piece of shit because you told Cheryln Cadle that you also took your what you believed to be deceased daughter down there and tried to stuff her in a fucking freezer and then put her in a plastic tote. But anyway, we'll let him finish lying.
Or for anything? Did you think about, well, maybe I'll pick her out that way? Or is it a walkout basement?
No.
It wasn't at your house. Okay.
No, it's like a garden level basement. So.
Okay.
But no, I don't know the place. I mean, what's that? I don't think it worked out that morning.
Like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen? Like, did you have to do all that normal stuff? Okay.
I packed lunch and everything. Did all that. I don't remember about the basement. Unless I just worked out that morning. I just don't remember. I think I did.
Just one second.
So one of the more.
Unless there was a trash bag down there at that time.
Yeah, you got trash bags from there.
Maybe there wasn't in the garage. No one down there got one.
All right. Hold
You
on.
normally carry-
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe there wasn't in the garage. Maybe I had to go down there. Maybe, nana, nana, boo, boo. Isn't that rubbing you? Isn't that coming off like that to you?
Oh, Mr. Evasive, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Ugh. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, definitely. It's like you can't just answer a direct question and say,
No.
this is what I did.
He is so like emotionally and intellectually immature. And 140 IQ motherfucker, there ain't no way. I administer IQ tests to young people, and there's no way. There's no way he has 140 IQ.
Who says he has an IQ of 140?
He says.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
You can kind of tell there's certain just like
I think he meant negative 140.
That's more like it. All right, I'm gonna keep playing this. Okay. He makes me so mad still and always will until anyway, we're gonna play.
Right, all of us.
There a roll of trash bags in your truck? No. So there was a roll in the truck.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I just grabbed it and brought it with me.
Oh my. Does Mr. Watts ever have tells in his lies? We know when he's lying. We know when he's telling the truth. He's like Tammy Lee said, he's really not a good liar. Listen, guys, Chris Watts remembers details about what happened on that horrible morning and even the late night before the horrible morning and the day after the murders happened and forward in time. He remembers so many things in detail. When he is asked a question and he doesn't have any reservation about giving the answer, he just gives a very normal, straightforward answer, as in like normal communication. Question asked, response given, fine, we move on. But this whole bit about when he's asked if he went down in the basement and he can't remember, and maybe he did this and maybe he did that, and just kind of stumbling around his words. And while he professes to have 140 IQ, he's just kind of, responding in these partial, like childlike sentences, really making not much sense at all. This is Chris's very awkward and not sophisticated way of dancing around the truth. This is one of his ways of lying. Chris Watts is totally lying about not remembering going down into the basement or remembering what he did when he went down into the basement, which of course begs for the next question. Then what is he hiding? Why does he not want to tell the investigators that he was down in the basement? Or what does he not want to disclose to them that he did or got while he was in the basement? I'm going to read you an excerpt from Cheryln Cadle's book, Letters from Christopher. So this is in Chris Watts' own handwriting, and that is not contended. Now, the story that he tells here, I think it's getting close to the truth. It's different than what he told the FBI, and it's different what he later told Cheryln Cadle, voice to voice, and several other people, including one person close to the Watts family who I spoke with myself well over a year ago. Let me first read to you what is in the book, Letters from Christopher, in Chris Watts' own handwriting. Please be aware, this is very hard to hear and your discretion must be used. August 13th, the morning of. I went to the girls' room first, before Shanann and I had our argument. I went to Belle's room, then Cece's room, and used a pillow from their bed. That's why the cause of death was smothering. After I left Cece's room, I then climbed back into bed with Shanann, and our argument ensued. After Shanann had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. I'm not sure how they woke back up, but they did. It makes the act that much worse knowing I went to their rooms first and knowing I still took their lives at the oil field. That is such a hard story to take in, isn't it? I can remember the first time I heard that story, and I can remember just the absolute horror that resonated. Okay, wait a minute. It's split up here. I got to go forward a little bit, and then there is more letter. Let me just find where it is. It's in here. I know it is. Or maybe it was back. Did I do this in reverse order? Just one sec. I just got to scan this here. first and knowing I still took their lives at the oil field. Okay. He was down. Let's go this way then.
There's no way he took their lives with
Here it is.
Shanann alive in the other room. There's just no way.
I agree.
Yeah, I think if anything, it may have been I don't know. Let's just listen before we open the discussion. Let's just listen to what he said about the dog search and stuff. So the beginning part of this letter just begins with some niceties and some small talk and reassuring Cheryln Cadle of Chris's deep faith and pious devotion to the Lord, essentially, before he gets into some information about the investigation. He says, dayroom time is when we all can use the phone, watch TV, play cards, other games, and talk with each other. The rest of the night I spend reading or writing until I fall asleep, sometimes around 11 p.m. As you can see, I pray, read, and write a lot. My faith of the Lord is it's my stability. He gives me to spread his word. Consumes most of my day, and I love it. The Lord's presence lets me rest in peace, knowing that his grace and love surround me. You say the canine dogs went crazy in one spot in the basement, and I can't think of a physical reason why. I went downstairs that morning to the basement to get some trash bags, but that's it. I know dogs can see, feel things humans can't, so maybe they felt the evil spirits that were in the house. That's the only reason I can come up with why the dogs picked up anything in the basement. So here we hear a theme. It's a theme of evil, of... Wait a minute. There's a different part too. Let me give me 1 second here.
Did it seem like it was that long?
Absolutely no doubt. I got kind of figured out why the two dogs have a different opinion. First, let's watch Jane. Wait. Okay, so here's... Right. Here's Jane's dog. Let's just take a look at this. We may as well. Jane's dog, Scout, here. This is where Scout is indicating, okay? It's right under the stairs, right by the freezer, and where the...
Here, in this area. Here.
If you have earbuds in, I'm sorry, I should have first. The dog bark is going to make, like, it's going to, like, radiate through your body. Sorry about that.
That was upsetting him here.
Okay.
To see his son.
Money.
I think Jeff or one of them should come in here down there.
So this bed is definitely not made. Stuff on hangers, coats.
That intensity, see, he hasn't been that intensity.
There's a dead wasp on the bed, but
not been that intensity. Yeah.
there's a sleeping mask right here too.
Huh?
There's a sleeping mask right there too.
Dude, these guys, I'm sorry. Jane's dog is indicating, and Jane is actually giving a shit. Unlike when they were at the dumpster, they were both ignoring the dog who was doing his job of indicating when he smelled the scent that they gave him to take on the lead so they could solve this crime. But they were just talking about other shit. You know, in this case, Jane is like, you know, he's really intense here. He's really intense. She's like trying to foul Cody, and freaking whatever her name is here is like, there's a sleeping mask on the bed. There's a dead wasp. There's a sleeping mask on the bed. There's a dead wasp. The sleeping mask is purple. The wasp is dead. Like, what the fuck? Seriously, people. Like, this whole, like so many aspects of this investigation just make us crazy. Let's just watch it again. I want all of you to feel as crazy as I do right now. Watch carefully and get mad.
I was wondering why she was mentioning
something's upsetting up here.
Yep, something's upsetting in here.
Huh.
Okay.
Something's upsetting here in this area. Here. here.
Okay.
More to see he's to tell me something.
Money.
I think Jeff or one of them should come in here down and
So
go here to baby car seat.
Just look at their like lack of communication. And if okay, so Jesse Essex said something I never thought of. If there's dead wasp in the bed, it means he wasn't sleeping then. Maybe not. You might be dead on with that. Maybe that's what she's thinking. But the way they're just like they both feel that they're onto something. I think that Jane's personally is more important here, and they're completely not communicating. They're just like over each other. It's like I feel like the whole investigation was like this.
bed is definitely not made. Stuff on hangers, coats.
That intensity, see, he hasn't been that intensity.
There's a dead wasp on the bed, but
not been that intensity. Yeah.
there's a sleeping mask right here too.
Huh?
There's a sleeping mask right there too.
And this has not been cleaned up like everything else.
Sure hasn't.
See, this may be her scent. Something
Right.
that set him off.
Well, that's a like a night sleep.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. A night sleep mask.
Something that set him off down in this area.
Okay, so we also know that the investigators who went to visit Chris Watts at Dodge Correctional Facility in February of 2019 were very interested in the basement. They didn't ask a whole lot of pointed questions, which was really surprising and strange for such a long interview. So, was there anything else I was? No, and then where they got to the point with there's something that said about like the totes here. Let me try.
Do you normally carry a roll of trash?
Chris Watts is totally lying and used a pillow from their bed. That's why the cause of death was smothering. After I left Cece's room, I then climbed back into bed with Shanann and our argument ensued. After Shanann had passed, Bella and Cece woke back up. I'm not sure how they woke back up, but they did. It makes the act that much worse knowing I went to their rooms first and knowing I still took their lives at the oil field. That is.
She did have a blanket. She had a blue blanket.
Tell us about that.
Comfortable enough to tell me.
At the time.
Blanket with the double enough.
Sorry to just skip through something. It's so serious and important, but
pathologist said it was fun.
And her life did end very close to the way that Chris Watts disgustingly describes it here. And I also believe that Cece did not have any injuries because she was. All right, hold it.
Only thing I had was Daddy No. And
Okay, so this is like 2 minutes here. So this is because I keep going back to describing since we're onto it. This is my theory of how this all comes together. Basically.
Like some kick around here and there, and like kind of breathe.
Mm-hmm. My God, obviously that is absolutely so horrific. I personally believe that the only reason that Bella suffered those injuries and Cece had none is because Bella was alive. Oh God. On the ride to Survey 319 and at Survey 319, and her life did end very close to the way that Chris Watts disgustingly describes it here. And I also believe that Cece did not have any injuries because she was not alive at Survey 319 or on the ride to Survey 319. I believe she passed at the house. It doesn't make any sense with Cece with all of her energy and personality and life that she wouldn't fight back in a fight for her life. That she wouldn't be saying things all the way in the truck ride from Saratoga Trail to Survey 319. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, let's take a look at some of the body cam footage when Chris Watts arrived back at his house after Nicole Atkinson had called him. He had been out at the oil fields, and remember, he took such a long time to come back. They were starting to think while he's going down there to let Dieter and going down into the basement. But he and Officer Coonrod, Nicole Atkinson and her children were there to greet him remember, instead of letting them all in through the front door, he goes through the garage door, ducks to pick up something in the car, and then goes into the house. It's over a minute later when he actually opens the front door and lets them in. So let's look at exactly what it is he does right after he allowed them to come in the house, rather than to going around the house looking for his wife and children, which obviously we know he wouldn't do because he knew they were gone. Look at where he goes specifically.
Nikki, I'll give you permission to walk in my daughter's house.
Mind if I come in, Chris? Okay. Yeah. You checked upstairs? She's not there. I just want to make sure she's not passed out somewhere. Is she diabetic? You mind if I look around? Go ahead. Okay, thanks. Oh, you're fine. Outside. No, you're fine.
So we see that he goes right downstairs in the basement to let Dieter presumably out of his cage. Now, this is a little strange to me because when the investigators asked him, what did you do? Why were you going down in the basement? Why didn't he tell them that, oh, well, and I had to put Dieter in the cage before I left to work for the day? I mean, could that be because, he's thinking, oh, man, if I went to work, but Shanann and the girls were still home, Dieter wouldn't be put in his cage? But then you think, well, why would he mind telling them at that point when he's already in prison because they know that he killed his family? So why wouldn't he just say, yeah, well, when I was down in the basement, one of the things I did, because I knew no one would be home, I put Dieter in the cage. That would have satisfied them partially, accounted for some of his time running around on the first floor and going down into the basement. But he didn't tell them that. And the second he walked into the house there with Officer Coonrod there, he goes down in the basement to let Dieter out. Well, maybe it would have made sense to keep Dieter in his cage since he'd been in his cage a whole lot while the family was away in North Carolina. But I wonder if he went downstairs into the basement to check to see if everything that he should have cleaned up down there or put away down there was in fact put away. A quick check while he's going down there to let Dieter out of the cage. Now, why would I think that? And again, really quickly to what it was Dave Baumhover and Tammy Lee said about the activity in the house and in the basement around that time when they were asking if he went into the basement.
What other things did you do that maybe we even missed?
So the phone and watch. Yeah. I think I threw the therapy book she wanted me to read in the trash.
That was that morning?
I think so.
Were you trying to make it look like she threw it in the trash?
I don't know. I just
True Stalker, that's exactly my point there. So True Stalker says, notice how he runs down to the basement real quick, then runs back up to let Dieter out and out of the crate. What did he do down there? What do you guys think he did down there? Did you notice that? Did you think that was anything weird?
I'm sorry. I had my volume all the way turned down. I was like, what's going on? So can you re-ask the question?
Oh, sure. So True Stalker says, notice how, when Chris got home, after, he just got home for the first time, went into Shanann's car, went in the house, and came to the front door, let him in. Says, notice how he runs down to the basement real quick. Then he runs back up to let Dieter out. What did he do down in the basement? That's what I had been talking about for the past couple minutes. Did you think anything there? No.
I think that's a really good question. And yeah, I'm sorry that I missed a minute
okay.
there.
Let me hand it to Kurt because we haven't let Kurt talk anyway yet, so it's kind of perfect anyway. Because Kurt will start to be like, well, the men never get to speak. Women, blah, blah, blah. What do you think, Kurt?
Restate the question again.
Oh my God. Wait, I just want to say thank you so much for the super sticker, Angelo's app. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel and for supporting us finding justice, and just thank you very much. So I'm going to re-pin True Stalker's comment, getting a lot of mileage here. Panel. We're going to have a training tomorrow on paying attention during, I'm just kidding. True Stalker had said that, well, okay. Notice how when, notice how when Chris first gets home, he goes to Shanann's car, he gets whatever out of her car, he goes in through the garage door, he lets them in through the front door. And then it says, notice how he runs down to the basement real quick. Then he runs back up, lets Dieter out. What did he do down in the basement? But if you didn't notice that, then I guess don't worry. What are you thinking in general, sweetheart? Go ahead. It doesn't need to be narrowed to that. What are you thinking?
I think that he knew that after he did what he did, that he wasn't expecting all of this to come onto the house because of Nicole Atkinson, right?
Hero.
Bringing everybody in there. He probably thought he had a lot more time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he thought he would. I think he was just putting on a show, trying to like, ooh, I'm looking in the car. What's going on here? All that.
I'm looking to see if she's in the glove compartment. My family's in the glove compartment, right? Like absurd things, like always, right?
Yeah. But as far as running down to the basement, I mean, I'm not sure. Because at that point, everybody was gone. Maybe he was looking to make sure there was nothing down there that could trace anything as far as wrongdoings down there.
Yeah, well, I think, it's my belief that he tried to put Cece into that freezer.
Yeah.
She didn't fit. He put her in that tote downstairs. That's why the dog ended up hitting. I mean, something, very terrible, according to his very, recent memory, just happened down there. I mean, like if you had done something like that in a space and all of a sudden other people are coming in and Jesus Christ, law enforcement. Oh my God.
Yeah. So maybe trying to like clean up loose ends real fast.
Yeah. I think he was just one frazzled motherfucker.
And wanted to make sure that there was nothing down there that would, for anybody to immediately be able to look at and say, wait a minute, what's that?
Yeah.
So, that's probably what was going on there. And I'm with her, I think. And I've always thought this, that they were already dead. And when Shanann walked back in the house, she was walking into a death trap. And we've talked about this before, Kelly. I mean, I don't know if you want me to elaborate more on that or what, or
you can. It's up to whatever you feel like talking about. I mean, we've already, the trigger warning is out. The everything has been said. So there's no words that are gonna, just say what you got.
Yeah, but I was just wondering.
There's no more shocking words left after you talked, honestly about this case. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm just wondering. I'm just trying to keep it in the compass of what this particular, your particular live stream.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But
I agree with you, Kurt. I agree with you.
Well, he's agreeing with you.
I'm agreeing with you too. I've always thought that there were 2 trash bags found and 1 sheet. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay, gotcha.
You know where I'm going with that. So,
yeah.
I mean,
it's okay. Go ahead.
It's just, I think in his own way of trying not to make him look like such a monster that would already have done that to his kids before his wife even got home, and then did what he did to her. It makes him not look like so much of a monster. Well, they weren't already dead before mom got home. And then all this stuff happened and I had to do all this. No, it was more like, I'm going to rid myself of this family so I can go have this relationship and maybe have a whole different life. Obviously not thinking rationally about like what real human beings do. But I think the 2 trash bags for who, and the sheet was also for who, and that's what it was. I can't imagine him driving with one or two. He said it was both of them, or like you think, one that was already gone, and there's one left, all the way out to that place, and then doing what he said he did. It makes him look like, he's a monster all the way around, but to make it look more premeditated, to think that he killed his kids before Shanann even got home, and they were already completely dead, and then she walks in to a death trap.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought that that's the way that this went down, just by what we've heard from. There were 2 black trash bags and a sheet. Can you imagine? And he already said that he tried to kill them before, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So Kurt's belief is that each one of the trash bags was.
I think they were designated for both of them, and then the sheet was her. Yes. It just makes more sense to me than.
Where were the trash bags at?
Oh, they were located there on the field outside of Survey 19, near the sheet. And he said previously that the reason that he had those 2 black trash bags is because he covered her head and her feet with them and wrapped the rest of her body in them. And the kids were sitting up, on the seat on the way out to Survey 19.
And for the record, I still think that is possible, but I do believe that Cece was not. Yeah. But your theory is certainly plausible too, and it puts things together.
Yeah, it just seems so weird that he's such a liar, and when I heard that, I was like, no. That one trash bag was for her, and that other one was for her, and the sheet was for her. That's just what I thought, and so he didn't come out to be so much of a monster that he killed everybody in the house. It alleviates it a little bit. But
it's a perception he's trying to leave.
Right? Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and someone, you pinned a comment a minute ago, Kelly, that. Yeah, he would not have tried. I don't think anybody would try to do all 3 of those at once, because any perpetrator doesn't want to fail. And the more people they're up against, the higher the chances are of things going awry.
Yeah, someone said that he wouldn't be able to control all 3 of them.
Exactly. Control all 3 of them. Control's the key word. And he wouldn't be able to.
Right.
Absolutely not.
And as vibrant as those girls were, they had so much energy and everything going on. Can you imagine having them just sitting there in the truck?
I could imagine Bella, but not Cece.
Yeah, like you said earlier, but
yeah,
I don't even think she was.
Well, and I made this point, I think, on one of your lives a long time ago, Kelly, is that Chris was so OCD and so particular, and everything in their house, both of them, was done in such a particular manner. Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine him having his kids in the back seat without their car seats. I just can't. That's not something.
Well, I also couldn't have imagined him, killing his wife or his children, but he did. I know what you mean. But I think go ahead. But I thought of that is what I've thought of that. That's why I have a response for it.
Just like he says he gave them baths.
So far beyond it. Because he even says that Bella was like, Daddy, no, we can't because we don't have our car seats. And he says this in one of his letters to Cheryln Cadle, his conversations with her, supposedly, that he was just like, well, just this one time. It's okay. Just this one time.
Right. Right. I don't believe it. I just don't. I seriously question if any of the 3 victims rode in the truck, and I just think it's a travesty that they didn't process that truck. Absolute
You mean
travesty.
the truck for which they collected all of the evidence they possibly could have ever wanted right there in it, and then CBI on September 9th, like 2 months before Chris Watts even made his official plea deal in court when he, was sentenced, they said, no, we're going to actually refuse to analyze that shit that you've collected, that evidence that you've collected. The evidence in the truck that you've collected is the only thing that would have told us if anybody was in there on his way from 2825 Saratoga Trail to Survey 319, because we know that he did that. It's one of the only things that we know he did. We really would like to know if there's anyone there dead or alive. And we could tell that if we just actually analyze the evidence you already collected, but we're not gonna.
Yep.
Somebody should really pay consequences for that.
Yeah.
Oh, like DA Rourke, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, the buck stops there.
Yeah.
It's his case. It's his district. It's his jurisdiction. He is the prosecutor for that jurisdiction. The buck stops there. I mean, it's criminal. It's a criminal case. That's bottom line.
So what about all the surveillance cameras that Anadarko had? They reportedly had a lot of surveillance cameras, like I want to say 200 all around their parking lot and their building.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also had surveillance cameras at a lot of the oil sites because of vandalism and such. So,
well, and because it's the law, it's an ordinance, it's a law, it's a regulation. Except for Survey 319, they were out of compliance with that law, with that ordinance, with that regulation. Oops. But yeah.
Well, that's what they say. That's what they say. Just like the police often say that their devices were malfunctioning when somebody asks for public record. They just happened to be turned off that day. So they'll pick up in the system.
Yeah. I just want to say really quick, Think for Yourself is in chat. So Think for Yourself is one of those original Watts covering channels, and she does a great job. Her name is Megan, but her channel is Think for Yourself. Everybody go check it out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe many of you have, but definitely I encourage you to do so. And I'm going to put the link to panel here. And if you want to come up at any time, just pop up, because I would love to hear from you, Megan.
And I would love to stay up, but I think I should step down just because I'm really tired and I don't want to I don't want to doze off or something stupid like that.
That's okay. Well, thank you so much. I always love having you come up. Thank you so much for coming up. And I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts. And yeah, of course.
I love your show, and I love your spirit and
you too, girl.
The fight for justice and taking on DA Rourke, man.
Yes, and that's another thing. So last time, I'm so glad I remember this. And okay, I have 4 more days of work this year. I have 2 more, and then I have a couple months off for summer. 4 more days with students, and then I'm like, I've got time. I still haven't even opened my email. Think for Yourself. Last time she was here, she was like, all these people, feeling this way about, wanting to pursue justice and feeling there's not complete justice in DA Rourke. You guys are all, you can sit here and say that till the cows come home, but, kind of saying our energy is misdirected. But she had thoughts on what we can do with our energy that would be meaningful. So I've got to connect back with her, and I will report back to all of you guys on that discussion, because, we just need a little more brain power, and maybe Think for Yourself is it.
Well, and in closing, I just want to say how grateful I am to DA Rourke and his wife for putting up that ridiculous video that he then took down, because putting it up was great. It was very revealing. Taking it down was also great and very
You mean her podcast?
Yeah. Yeah,
her podcast episode, for all of your reference. Let me just make sure I'm being correct here. Let me look it up, because I have it. Her podcast that podcast episode can still be found on Amazon, at least. Wait, Survive.
Oh, wonderful.
So I suggest everybody go grab it, make copies of it, commemorate it. I know I have it in my cloud on an MP4, and an MP3, in video, in VHS, on a freaking 8-track. We're not going to lose that one.
It's pretty unbelievable that they made that podcast. Unbelievable that they were stupid enough to post it.
I know.
And then taking it down was just all that much more revealing. you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And then also striking Plunder in the other channel.
Behind Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
And I want to say that they struck this really small channel that I love called Mist and Things.
Possibly.
So, all right. Well, thanks so much, dear. I am going to log off and continue
hey,
to
thanks
watch.
again. Awesome.
Have a good night, Kurt.
You
good to see
yeah.
you.
You too.
Appreciate you, girl. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
She's tired. I can hear it. I know my girl. All right. So what's next, Kurt? What's on your mind now?
I don't know. What are we presenting next?
I'm trying to see if whoops. I was trying to see if that podcast is still up, but I can't remember any of my passwords now. So I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one too. Okay. Let me just play the last. We got someone back there. Oh, Sherry's coming up. So Sherry, I'm going to be bringing you up on stage right now. And here you are. Hey girl. How's it going? Oh, I can't hear you. We can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you, hon. Still can't hear you. Do you? Okay, listen for a second. Oh, you're echoing. I'm actually going to mute you. You got to do two things. Okay, so I mute you from my end. You got to do two things. So once you come up onto the live stream, Sherry, wherever you hear like this playing, maybe it's on your phone, maybe it's on your computer, maybe it's on a tablet, maybe it's on your TV. You got to mute that. You'll hear it coming through wherever we are right now. And then oops, I got to do. So that's why I'm getting like really bad feedback. So that's why I just muted you again. So where were you listening? Just answer the question in your head. Where were you listening to this before you got onto panel? So turn that volume down. I'm going to try to bring you back. Let's see. Oh, no. I still got the reverb. Try again. So were you listening on a computer, a phone, a TV? You got to turn that volume all the way down. Let's see. No, still got it.
If it's you, close out of it, and then
if it's you, thank you. Kurt said if it's YouTube, close out of it. There you go. That's probably makes more sense. Here I think I got a little troubleshooting thing here. Hold it. Let me try. Let's try now. No, still got it. So close out of your YouTube tab or window on your computer or whatever. Let's try to work through. Still got it. Wait. I'm gonna mute that again. All right. Just hold up, everyone. You know what? While we're trying to figure this out, play around with that a little bit. I'm just going to play that very last tiny little bit. It was like 3 minutes left I have of that little video I was playing, and we're going to see if we can figure this out. I'm going to try to find you a little troubleshooting thing, Sherry, okay? All right, here we go. Yeah, that's an idea. It's like 3 minutes.
Nothing's ever going to work again, so I didn't know what was going on.
Did you go down to the basement? I thought the basement door open.
Yeah, the door is open, but yeah. So there was a lot of movement. I think it was around 4:26 or something. The garage door opening, the basement door opening, and then of course the living room sensors and all. Do you remember what you were doing all during that time?
You had a lot of steps. I'll just say that.
So like the basement, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I really have down there is my workout.
You were going down there for anything or opening that door for anything? Did you think about, well, maybe I'll take her out that way, or is it a walkout basement?
No,
it wasn't at your house. Okay,
no, it's like a garden level basement. So.
Okay.
No, not really. What's that? I don't think it worked out that morning.
It's like, were you packing your lunch in the kitchen? Like, did you have to do all that normal stuff? Okay.
I packed lunch and everything. Did all that, but I don't remember about the basement. Unless I just worked out that morning, I just don't remember.
It did. So one of the more.
Unless there was a trash bag down there. That
Yeah, you got trash bags from there.
Maybe there wasn't even a garage. And I went down there and got one.
Do you normally carry a roll of trash bags in your truck?
No.
So there was a roll in the truck.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I just grabbed it and brought it with me then.
So, in the letter from Christopher Watts to Cheryln Cadle that we read, that was from her book earlier in this video, he expands on the confession that he gave the investigators when they visited him in prison in February of 2019. But guys, there is yet another story. Now, this story was told to Cheryln Cadle.
That's right.
Cheryln Cadle told this story, and some people did not believe her. But I do know this story was told from Chris Watts to at least 3 other people.
That's right.
One of those people I spoke with about 2 years ago. Now,
I could not pull all of this together because there's so much Cheryln Cadle touched information out there. This is where this all culminates. What time is it? Well, it's only 12:20. Think for yourself. Let me just answer this verbally. I was just going to type it to you. The podcast I'm talking about is District Attorney Rourke's wife, his wife Kim, and this other woman have a podcast called Survivor's Guide to True Crime. There was an episode called, I don't know if you know this or if I'm over explaining it, I'm sorry. Prosecutorial Vicarious Trauma. Oh my God, girl. If you haven't heard it yet, you'll think this is a beaut. Prosecutorial Vicarious Trauma with the Honorable Michael Rourke. And in the very beginning of it, she introduces her husband, Michael Rourke, is being the most celebrated, revered, respected, winningest, leading, leader of the, not the industry, but whatever that is, prosecutors in Colorado. Like, he's the best freaking prosecutor in Colorado, specifically citing his winning trial record. Yet he pleads like 70-some% of his cases. I don't know, but that's to answer your question. I'm going to get back to this. So it's called Survivor's Guide to True Crime. You can get it on Amazon, or I can email you a copy of it too. Why haven't I talked about it until now? When I talked to this person about the story that I'm going to tell you, and maybe you've heard it before, I just wasn't ready to talk about anything so horrific on my channel, and I didn't know if I ever would. Now, I don't have permission from this person at this point to disclose their name, but I have asked for that permission. And if they get back to me soon, I will, or at any time, I'll do a live stream so we can talk about it. And I actually would love to have them on. This person is close to the Watts family. So the story goes like this. Why did the dog Cody hit in the basement near the refrigerator? So this is the whole culmination of everything. What happened in the basement, the information from Cheryln Cadle, just like at least a slice of information, the dogs hitting, this is like where it all comes together. And I absolutely positively believe this is what happened. Well, according to Cheryln Cadle and the person I spoke with, Chris Watts believes it is because when he did, try to kill both of his beautiful girls while they were at home at 2825 Saratoga Trail, he did believe he was successful. He panicked and he wasn't sure what he was going to do with them. He took Cece first down into the basement. He tried to put Cece in the refrigerator and she did not fit. I guess at that point, he was thinking that he would come back for the family later. He knew that he had to be at work. He had made a commitment to do something early that morning at Survey 319, and he just was not sure what he was going to do with the girls. Cece would not fit in that refrigerator, so he put her in a large plastic tote near the refrigerator and was going to apparently leave her there for the day while he was at work. Now, the story that he told about the girls waking up seems to be very true about Bella. Apparently, according to him, what he told these 3 people plus Cheryln Cadle is that Bella did wake up and she was fine, other than the fact that she was obviously horrified. Apparently, she had some marks and bruising on her face, but other than that,
that sweet little angel was talking, as Chris Watts talked about, to several people, including the investigators at the prison, and she was walking about the house. Apparently, according to this story that he told Cheryln Cadle and 3 other people, little Cece did, in fact, wake back up as far as regaining consciousness. However, after that, she never talked again. Now, when we look at Chris Watts' health data from the app on his phone, we can see that this is supporting the story that he is telling. And he said, now I think that this is important because this is actual evidence that, you know, the investigation did procure. Well, I mean, it's on the phone, it's phone data, it's health data, it's health app data. It's going to be there. All you have to do is really find it or access it or take a screenshot of it. But this absolutely does support the story that is my personal theory of what happened with the girls, with the basement, with Cece, with the dogs hitting. That all of this with Cece did happen right around 4:30 a.m., that same time that investigators were asking him about when they went to visit him at Dodge. We can see that right around 4:30 a.m., he took a whopping 1,500 steps in the house, apparently, and he also clocked 0.6 plus miles. 0.6 plus miles, that's over half a mile. That is a lot of steps and a lot of distance to cover while you're just walking around in your house. It seemed that, you know, at that hour, right around 4:30 a.m., something went very wrong according to the plan that he had or was making up as he went along, and he had to scurry around his house to try to get things back in order, so to speak. Now, why is this horrible hard-to-hear information important? It's important because it gives us an idea of what really did or did not happen in that house and on that horrific morning. And another question is this the only thing that we know about what happened in that basement or in that house that has not yet been discovered officially, but those who have information behind the scenes, who have been following this case and doing their own research, might have? I think that there is more that we actually know about what happened in that basement and in that house on that horrible morning of August 13th and even the night before, the evening of August 12th. And we will be talking about that in the next video on this topic. I'm sorry this was so hard to hear, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Please click like and subscribe. And may Shanann, Celeste, Bella, and Nico rest in eternal peace. Yeah. So that's that. So Sherry, try to speak, my friend, because we're not getting the echo anymore. So maybe you're good, if as long as we can hear you. Oh, we can't hear you. So when I go to this little troubleshooting for guest things, like what it just says that, you know, when you're coming on to a live stream, one of the little things it tells you to do is to, it says, let's see, where is it? You have to allow, I can't find it, but you have to, if you're on are you on a computer? What are you on? Can you type in chat what it is you're on? Trying what like the cameras that's looking at your computers and phone, because you have to allow access to your microphone. And maybe you didn't do that yet, is what I'm thinking, perhaps. So, Kurt, well, what are your thoughts, Kurt, while we're trying to get her sound? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, it's always what I've thought before.
Same thing. Kurt's like, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. My brain's staying. Oh, now we get reverb. See, whatever you did, I got that echo. I've got to mute it now. Oh, I hate when that happens. Go ahead, Kurt.
Okay. It's the same as what I always thought. I thought that even what he talked to with that woman, and he said maybe one of them was gone. I just think that they both were gone, and I think that he was waiting for her to walk in and then take care of her too. I think that maybe that. Oh God, talking about putting your daughter into a freezer.
I know. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. I just. I'm, thinking about this and trying to piece all this together, and sitting there in his shoes as a killer. And okay, my wife is going to return. I've already planned that this is the annihilation period. He already said this was going to be the last night that I took my babies in. I'm trying to think like in that kind of a mindset. I would think that to make it easier on himself in that sick, warped mind of his at that time, that he would want those children already gone. And then the big thing that he would have to take care of was his wife, and when he tried to put one of them down there in the freezer and he realized that wasn't going to work well, then we'll just put them in trash bags in their rooms, and then I'm going to take care of her when she walks in the door.
See, the only reason. Go ahead.
Well,
sorry, I'm doing like a code. I'm not taking a picture of you guys or anything.
No.
I'm doing
No.
like QR code.
So I mean, that for me would make much more sense for a family annihilator if that's what they wanted to do. All this. Well, I did this here, and then I went over here, and then I tried to do this here, and then we went over here and did this, and then, well, that didn't work. So now we're going to go down here. I just don't think that killers work that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, something I definitely do agree with you on is that all of that, that you just said is like total bullshit, right? It's all just like fluff. It's him trying to distract people from what's really going on. And, like, who knows what else. Hold, I still got to get this QR code here. I'm still trying to get the freaking Kindle book back up. I'm having all kinds of like password technological problems right now. Dude. Okay. But where I don't, and like definitely other people think that that's the case. I'm going to tell you and sorry, Sherry, I'm so sorry that didn't work for you. I'm going to put the link back up if you want to try again. I feel so bad when that happens. I'm really sorry about that. I wish I knew how to help you, because I would in a second. I've got to figure out how I don't know how to do it though. I don't know if like I can or if
that happened to me, a couple of times, and it was because I had YouTube and the StreamYard up at the same time, and I realized I had to close out YouTube. So
yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put on the community page. I'm going to put like the instructions for people to come up to panel, just for people to refer to. I don't know if that'll help or not. Not tonight, but I'll do that like tomorrow. So people got a little like training guide if you need it.
Come on, Sherry.
Yeah, here's one more time. Here's the link to panel if anyone else wants to come up before wrapping things up, or if you really want to say something, or if maybe your little fingers are getting tired. I don't know. Here it is. Okay. So I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Bella was alive on that drive to Cervi, and I believe that Bella was alive, when she walked into that bedroom, and I believe that Bella was alive. And approximately what Chris Watts described is what happened to her at Cervi 319, because as I was saying before, when Justice A through Z was coming up here, is that Chris Watts is such a prolific liar. He lies all the time. Lying is his baseline. He doesn't have a tell. For like someone like you or I probably would have a tell if we were being dishonest. Chris Watts has a tell, an indicator when he's being truthful. And the biggest one for him, and this is not like, this is, I feel like this goes beyond a theory for me. It's just like observation after observation every single time when when facts are supporting him telling the truth. That is hard. He actually shows some kind of emotion, and the emotion it can range from, a little to a lot, maybe just like a little bit of a crack in his voice in a certain part of his word, something that's barely perceptible unless you're really trying to observe and see if there is a show of emotion, in his speech, all the way to him actually sounding like when he's talking that he's actually crying, that he actually, and it actually does sound like, emotion driven, audible things that come out of a person. And that's how I connected to him. When he talks about Bella in the truck and the drive to Survey 319, certainly at Survey 319, when she says, Daddy, no, when she says, Daddy, are you going to do to me what you did to Cece? When she says, Daddy, it smells. When she says, Daddy, is Mommy going to be, all these things, I absolutely do not think he made that up. The 5 statements that he assigns to Bella, when he talks about, when he recalls those statements, and he won't get there on his own, not even kind of, he has to be prompted by those investigators. At least they knew how to throw him a few Scooby snacks. They shoved a lot of like steaks in his mouth too, but they also did bait him towards them a little bit. Thankfully, when he gets baited enough, he will finally start to talk about Bella. He's very reluctant to, but that is the only time in the hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of interview and body cam and other footage we have of him where true emotion comes through and is a form of a nonverbal indicator, is evidence-based and backed by data, and knowing that this is a tell of whatever's the opposite of your baseline. You guys following me? And it happens without fail every time he brings up one of those statements that he assigns to Bella. He can hardly get it out. And that, to me, I absolutely 100%, like with everything in me, believe that he is being truthful about that, not because he's doing something valiant or he's doing something, big or moral, but because it's being sucked out of him. And that's the only way it can come out of him, because it is so painful, even to someone who has a hard time feeling real emotion that's not purely for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that. But I mean, I want, like, I'll say, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I could be wrong now. I want to say that about this, but I just feel so strongly in the consistency of his nonverbal tells of truthfulness when he is expressing emotion, when he's talking about Bella. I just, in my mind, that's just how it is. Let me see if Sherry. Okay, Sherry, I'm going to hit like I'm going to, oh wait, I'm going to bring you up on stage. Let's see what happens. Fingers are crossed. Okay. Oh no, I'm doing it. Can you give her some guidance better with it? I'm going to mute you with that echo, but maybe Kurt can walk you through it. Do you mind, Kurt? Do you think you can?
Oh, yeah. Sherry, turn off your...
I got to mute you again, honey, because we're getting really bad reverberation. So just hold up. Go ahead, Kurt.
Okay. Sherry, turn off your YouTube and just look at the StreamYard link that you're on. Click off your YouTube.
YouTube gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's bring her back. Okay. Twin it. I'm not sure what. All right, Sherry, here's what you're gonna do. I'll mute you again. I'm gonna be like laptop, tablet, phone, blah, blah, blah. When I name the thing that like you're looking at the screen on that's recording you, just like lift up your hand, okay? So are you on your phone? You're on your phone? Wait, lift your hand up when I say it. Laptop. Laptop? Okay. So do you have a YouTube window open on your computer screen? Do you have YouTube playing on anything else in your room? It's so weird. I don't know. I don't know what it is. If anyone in chat can help us, help it. You know what? I'm going to bring Keith up. I like to think that Keith has some technical something to him. So let's see if Keith has anything to say. Let me bring Keith up and see what's going on here. Hey, Keith, how are you doing?
Hey, Kelly. Yeah. I just came up. Yeah, Sherry, it happened. You said to me all the time. So I'm assuming you can hear. When you click the StreamYard link, another window will open. You know, on your phone, sometimes like if you click like the bottom right square, you can see like all your apps that are open. So you're looking at StreamYard, but your YouTube is still going. That's like the reverberations coming. So you got to get back to that YouTube app and either mute the live or just close that app. It's definitely open 100%.
Yeah, I think so too. But sometimes they're like hidden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because when you click the StreamYard,
it happens to all of us.
when you click the StreamYard link, it takes over, your screen, but that YouTube is still going. So you're talking in StreamYard and you're hearing the replay of, the live.
Okay, I'm going to try bring you back now. Hello? Oh, it's doing it. She's got a hidden YouTube window open. I don't know what to do.
Hey, Sherry, do you have a Android or a Apple? I don't know what she's.
So raise your hand when I say what you have, and it's going to be an Apple or an Android. Apple? Android.
All right. So on the bottom right, there's like a square. If you click that, like your screen minimizes and you can go left to right and see all your open apps. So like just swipe over and swipe up on the YouTube and close it.
Thank you, Keith. It's very nice of you to do this.
I hope her phone's the same. It could be different, but
yeah, I know
most Androids. Or if you can even see like the YouTube playing, you can just mute the live, and obviously then we wouldn't hear it either, even if you don't close the YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
It looks like, is she on a laptop though? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I thought she said she was on a laptop.
Yeah, she's on a laptop. So on the top like of your internet browser, there's like a bunch of tabs. You can have like 20 tabs open. You'll see like a bunch of X's. No. Okay. All right. Then it stinks here because it's not you. It's just the software.
I know it is. Well, thank you, Keith. I appreciate you helping.
Yep.
What do you think? Well, I got you up here. I want you to say something about the keys.
Well, okay. So in chat, we were just talking, and it's one of those things. These are one of the things because I used to believe differently. A couple of the people were under the impression that the doll pic that Chris took that.
Oh, I saw you guys talking about that. Yeah.
But I was always told that it was Shanann had taken that and like sent it to her friends via Messenger. Like when the girl said set it up. Is that true, or do you know that?
You know what? Here's the thing with that. At one time, and I feel like you were around when we did this. At one time, by going through all of the phone data in Discovery, we figured it out. And I know other people, but I feel confident.
Don't remember.
We figured it out. But I do not remember the outcome. And you know why? I understand that, it is significant because it's a doll that is covered as though in funeral shroud, right? So that obviously could be, certainly important. But in my mind, I think I just got so goddamn sick of it. I wrote it off as not important, but it is important. So here, let me find it here in the Discovery.
If Chris did that and sent it like the day before to NK, absolutely important. If it was, and I believe it wasn't even like close, like it was like 6 months prior. And, and if the girls just did something, and who knows, they could have gotten up and it just kind of fell that way in an odd way. Right. Then, that means nothing. But
When I first
I
looked at
believe.
that picture, I was like, what's wrong with it? I didn't see it as being like a funeral shroud or something, or burial shroud. I just saw it like a doll. I saw it differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like maybe the girls are covering her up and just it went up above her neck, or like she was taking a nap and it was a blanket. Because I always thought it was Chris, and then at one point, and that's why usually I try to say like I'm not sure. I've heard that that one I'm like pretty sure that it was and so how it got to the detectives was like whoever was in her friend group. Like I don't even think it was on her feed. I think she sent it via messenger to select people. And a couple of days after the the event, like NA or something was like, hey, go back. 3 months ago, Shanann sent me this pic, and it was odd, but now it make what I mean. It was that's what I believe anyway. I'm never 100% sure.
I think I may have it figured out here. So I think it's just like kind of jogging my memory. Okay, so bear with me. All right, I'm going to bring the discovery into the screen. So just remember, y'all, you asked for this. Okay, so all right, so let's see. Okay, now the reason I figured this out was from analyzing Chris Watts' personal phone and work phone in regards to his cellular data at Survey 319. When I was in like the hot debate with, I think it was like, Red X, it was like, oh, his phone didn't pig out there until that. And that like just pissed me off to no end for some reason. I had to refute that. But yeah, so this was kind of a byproduct of that. Okay, so listen. All right. Okay. Now, first of all, it's important to know that Chris, let me show it to you in the discovery. So this is 1910. All right, let me just scroll up a little to where they show their phones. I have a PowerPoint presentation actually on this, but it'll take me a second to go get it. Okay. Okay, so their phone. So it's important to know this, and it's easy to get them confused. Chris Watts' work phone. Let me make this a little bigger.
Oh yeah, they were numbered or whatever.
Yeah. So Chris Watt, and there's a couple other little tricks you got to look at here, but by looking at the data and the information that is already available to us, we can determine where that doll picture is from. It is not a mystery in my mind. Okay. So Chris Watt's work phone is item number 40. Okay.
Yep.
Chris Watt's personal phone is item number 41. Okay. Now let's read. So where the doll picture is going to be categorized under item number 41. Now that can mean one of two things. It could mean that it was sent from phone 41, or it could mean it was received to phone 41. And then there's an issue whether it's saved or not. But we're going to be able to figure this out because look. So let's look at number 41. It says the device is an Apple iPhone 7 Plus, serial number yada yada. The current operating system is yada yada. It matters for other reasons, but not this reason. The device stored 8,700 timeline entries. So 8,700 timeline entries. Hold on, I just want to get a pen and write this down. So I have to keep flipping back here because I got to kind of keep track of this a little bit. So, oops, hi microphone. 8,700 timeline entries and 12,300 plus images. Okay. Okay. And 120 blah 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. That's what we need to know there. So now when we go down, well, actually, let's look at Shanann's phone really quick, just so we're certain here. Okay. Shanann's phone is device number 42. And it says the device has stored 600,000 plus timeline entries, 99,000 plus images, almost 3,000 contacts, shitloads of videos, shitloads of SMS, shitloads. She's like on the phone all the time, right? So those are like big numbers. Okay. So now let's go back down to where we see the doll picture. Everyone yawning now. Remember, you asked for this.
And you can cut me off, but that would make sense it was only sent to his work phone. Maybe, she was at home with the kids, saw it, and then, but
maybe not.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
You're jumping the gun there, Keith. You got to
Very
hold
true.
up.
Very true.
Hold up there. Hold your horses, Keith. All right. So now let's get to our, hold up. Wait a minute. Okay. So we got to get to our little doll picture now. Was it on the 6th or the 8th? I can't remember. It's one side of the 7th. Hold on. I just got to find it. It's the 6th or the 8th. It was the 6th or the 8th. Okay. Okay. It's the 8th then. All right. So go back down. Where's our creepy ass doll picture? Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's our creepy ass doll. Okay, so the timeline event that goes with the doll picture is the one above it, and it says this image was taken by Watts' phone, which he sent to Shanann. She replied, "Don't know what to think about this." Okay. So again, we see here that it was Watts' personal phone, item number 41, timeline number 7,299. So remember, we said that Chris Watts' timeline has a total of 8,700 items on it, and Shanann's has over 125,000. So this is on his active timeline, not in his saved vault of stored pictures. So this initiated from Chris Watts' phone.
Okay. So Sherry and Amanda, I was wrong. Yeah.
And it was so this was so let's look into this a little further. So what's the date here? So we're at 11:44 a.m. and the date is right after the ultrasound picture. That's kind of interesting. The date is August 9th, 2018. Let's look it up. What else is going on this day? Let's also figure out what day of the week it is.
So that's even way closer than I thought.
13th is a Monday. The 12th is a Sunday. The 11th is a Saturday. The 9th is a Friday. And the 10th is a Friday. The 9th is a Thursday. Shanann left for Arizona on the morning of the 9th. She wasn't even home, guys. Yeah. She wasn't even home in Frederick when this picture was whatever. Okay. So, okay. So it says on August 9th, that's a Thursday. Watts took the day off from work and Shanann left for Arizona. One of the big arguments with this saying that Shanann took it is Chris couldn't have taken it. He was at work. No, he wasn't. It says here about 11 inches above where the fucking picture is that Watts. So you guys just got to look around for context. Watts took the day off from work and Shanann left for Arizona. Shanann was not at the house with the dolls, with the girls. And Chris Watts was. It says it here plain as day in black and white. So what else happens that day? At 2:42 a.m., Shanann told Addie that Watts refuses to hold her and has told Shanann it's because he's not there. He can't. This is 2 a.m. and 54 minutes. This is 3 a.m. Shanann told Addie, I canceled the gender reveal. Nikki is going to tell me today. I need happy news right now. I said to him, how is this a few months? We were so intimate. What I thought was in love when I left. He said he had a lot of time to think. Now this shows her phone. Her phone is number 42. This is timeline. We're in the 150,000s because Shanann is on that phone all the time, right? And then Addie asked Shanann, has she gone through Watts' phone, asking if he was having an affair? Shanann replies, I did. He denied it. No, I didn't look. He's deleting messages from his dad. Well, then obviously you looked, or how do you know he's deleting messages from his dad? I'm sure he's not that stupid. Addie noted, none of this makes sense. It's not Chris. And then it says, frequently throughout the day, Shanann searched the internet for couples counselors. She also accepted a prayer chain focused on their relationship, kind of out of character. Now we're at 6 a.m. 6 a.m., 9 minutes after 6 a.m., Shanann asked Watts, do you want to find out together with me tonight our baby's gender? His reply is not found on his phone. But Shanann soon commented on his answer, and she loved yes. So he said yes, but he deleted it from his phone. This is timeline on his personal phone, number 7,270, okay? At 9 a.m., a log entry appears for the secret calculator in Watts' phone. He's storing more freaking nude pictures of Skank. at 10 a.m., Shanann shared an ultrasound. This breaks my heart. Shanann shared an ultrasound image of her unborn son with Sarah Nudd. Oh my God, it's so sad. It's her phone. It's timeline event over 150,000, and there's little baby Nico. This is so fucking sad. I just can't even. And then in 11:44, the next thing that happens, 11:44 a.m. Remember, Shanann is in Arizona. Watts is home. He took the day off to take Shanann to Arizona, but he didn't take her to Arizona, or he didn't take her to the airport to go to Arizona. Nicole Atkinson picked her up. Says this image was taken by Watts' phone, which was sent to Shanann. She replied, "Don't know what to think about this." 41, Watts' personal phone timeline, 7,299, right in line with the rest of his timeline events. There's really no question about it.
Now, and again, we might not get an answer to this, but Serena in the chat is right. Is the 9th was Thursday.
Yeah.
So, that wasn't, Shanann didn't go to Arizona until the 10th. So
no, she went to Arizona on the 9th.
On Thursday.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. I always thought that, Chris had taken off on Friday to take her, and he didn't even take her, Nicole
okay.
did.
Let me say this.
And again, we might not get it.
According to the official Discovery timeline, that's what's said right here. August 9th, 2018. Watts took the day off from work and Shanann left for Arizona. Wait, well, let's go to the morning of the 10th and see if it looks like she's, any messages like she's in the airport. Because I've got to say, for this being such an important case with such major charges, they make a fuck ton of stupid mistakes in this discovery, and that really irritates the crap out of me.
I remember they had like photos and mislabeled from different phones. Like it was unreal how terrible. Yeah.
So let's just look for some more context clues.
Like I said, I definitely could be wrong, but I for whatever reason, I always under the impression she left on the Friday. But it's very possible it was Thursday. I definitely could be wrong.
Okay, well, you know what? So, and that's what I had thought too, and then I changed my mind because of that. But let's look. Oh my God, this is so annoying. So it said, you saw it on August 9th. It said Watts took the day off of work. Shanann left for Arizona. On August 10th, it says Watts took the day off from work and Shanann left for Arizona.
Oh, geez.
And I think it is the 10th. Yeah. Wow.
They probably whoever was doing it didn't proofread and probably duplicated the entries for the 9th. Just not paying attention. I don't know.
Gotta pay attention, man. This is freaking homicide.
And now that you're reading this, I remember now, whenever, the last time whoever looked through the same thing, it was like because the report is so messed up. And there's a few other things like that where
there are.
I mean, it'll we know something came from Shanann's phone, but yet it says it came from Troy. Oh, I'm just saying it's something that makes no sense,
right. That's right. So although what the discovery indicates is that was taken from Watts' phone and sent to Shanann's phone, and everything looks like it lines up, because this is such a freaking sloppy piece of crap, we do not know for 100% sure. I mean, I feel like that's what I need to say about it,
But I regardless of if their day is wrong, judging by that, I would feel safe to say Chris sent it to Shanann, and then I think Lord or someone said that that it came from Shanann's phone. Well, maybe Shanann then sent that to a couple friends. Chris sent this to me. What do you think? Maybe that's where I'm getting came from Shanann's phone. That's possible. Chris sent it to her, and then she's like, "Hey, girls, what do you think about this? Chris sent me." That maybe that's where I'm remembering that she sent the picture. But I believe you're right in that she didn't take it. Maybe she resent it to some people. But I agree.
Yeah. And I just want to say, Char, I'm so sorry, Sherry. You don't have to apologize to us, honey. I wish I could have you come up. Listen, when I'm going to email you the thing that StreamYard says. So next time you want to come up, me and you will get it ready. So the next time you're all good to go. Okay. So we'll do that this weekend. All right. Cause I feel really bad about that. I would love to hear from you. Okay. I hate it when that happens, Keith.
No. And she is not the only one. That's a very common. It's
very common.
When StreamYard opens, when StreamYard opens in that other, I guess another window is what you would say. I don't those you like finding that open YouTube one. It's odd, you know.
It is. I mean, I do it sometimes when I go up on other channels and they're like, "Don't you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Shut up!" Like, this stuff so confuses me, you know.
You know, I just thought maybe Sherry, if you're listening next time, before you hit the StreamYard link, mute your YouTube.
That's a good idea.
So you're watching the live, you still see the chats, but like on the screen, you can like shut the volume off of like there's like an X that goes to like a microphone, and just so your volume on your phone, everything will still be up for StreamYard, but that live will be muted. So even if the app is open, at least we don't.
Yeah, because I do that with meetings at work sometimes. Like if I were to, you know, open StreamYard, I'm like, I get confused. I'm like, but wait, if I mute it, I can't hear you, or is it you can't hear me? It really is very confusing. It is. Now wait, J Lord says, why does another forensic report say it was hers? What forensic report says it's hers? If you please direct me there, we can take a look at it and I will try to explain it. Or if I can't explain it, I'll go, that's more freaking weird.
I think she's the one that was saying that the pic came from Shanann's phone. So we're thinking that, yeah, Chris, we didn't say that like the pic might not have been taken from her phone, but she sent it. And so maybe that's what we're reading, you know, like we had just discussed.
Okay.
Hey, Sherry, I see you're commenting. If you're watching, can you mute your YouTube? Like leave the app open and like where Kelly's live. Can you like?
I think she's gone down and.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there was a couple Sherry, so maybe I got the wrong one. One just said I really wanted to talk, but okay. I gotcha. So I gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, Kim, I'm so sorry. You know what? I thought Kim, come back up here. Here's the link again. I remember I've got a left contact in both my right and left eye. I thought it was still Sherry back there. I'm so sorry. I couldn't read the name. Here's the link again. Yeah. Okay. Sherry, can you mute mute on the live screen, look for like a microphone. And if you can mute that now and then click the link. And I see Sherry did come up, Kez, but it was like reverberating, like her YouTube app was still open. So
gotcha. Okay. And Serena, I saw, Serena, I saw your comment. And Serena Williams, I feel, is very good researcher. I trust her. Like when I read something she says, I'm like, all right, like I believe it because Serena said it, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see. So wait, I just want to read her comments about that. And like you said, if it's a certain day and a certain person sent it, it's a huge deal. If it's the other way around, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yep, for sure.
So all right. So let me go back to where Serena's comments.
Oh, she just reposted it.
Okay.
SW.
Okay, so,
go ahead.
Oh, here's the first one. So wait. So the discovery said that Chris took that based on Shanann's statements on Facebook in the sequence order. It's on Shanann. But see, I think in the sequence order, it's on Chris's phone. So because I adore you, Serena, and you know, I would assume you'd be right before I'd be right if we were like disagreeing on something. Why are you saying it's in Shanann's sequence order? Because I see it as being in Chris Watts' personal phone sequence order. I'm imagining deja vu. I feel like we had these conversations.
Yeah, I know. and what she's saying makes sense, but I mean, we just saw it from the discovery itself. So like do you remember? Oh yeah, remember how didn't they send out a couple different discoveries? Remember that one discovery?
I just want to say this one thing. So Serena said, "I'm so sorry, Keith," and that's all you. I don't want to cut you off. But
no.
She said, Shanann didn't leave for Arizona until 4 a.m. on Friday, August 10th. I'm sorry, but your information isn't correct. That's what I thought too. The discoveries information that I was just reading is incorrect, and it was making my head spin because even, you know, I made that little graph for you of you guys. I think you saw it, of all the things that are on top, and the blues are the things that are on the timeline. All the things in the bottoms that are reds are things that are mysteriously omitted from the timeline, missing, although that they should be there. And I have her leaving around 4:30 a.m. on the morning of the 10th. So it's really weird that repeats like that in Discovery. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to be wrong about that.
No. I was just going to say, do you remember there for a while, they would like put out new discoveries and they would be like different. And do you remember, so she has that channel like ATS Amber, Do you remember one of the discoveries they put out had her personal phone pictures on it?
I
Do you
do. It was
remember
called
that?
the cup file.
Isn't that? I mean, like how? Like so, Amber, or everybody. Oh, we have a new discovery out, and
Yep.
everyone requests it, and they send it out to every people, and it's got pictures of content creators, like pictures of her living room and stuff
I
on
remember.
Discovery, stuff to everybody. That is.
I happened to be in CDT's live stream on that day. I've been in like 3 of her live
Yes,
streams ever.
CDT and Amber are together. Yep.
He was so nervous because it was Kelly from CDT that received that file. And she's like, I'm just like downloading it like we do when we get those huge discovery files. It's so much, like sometimes my computer can't take it. I've got to find places to put stuff, and all of a sudden she saw something that was like called a cup file, and she hadn't seen it in the previous version or versions. I don't remember what. And so she just like happened to open on it. And there was a picture of Amber taking a picture of her television, her living room, along with several other creators who were just, had their own stuff or their own research on the Watts case, all in a freaking file from YouTube, all YouTubers.
And I think she like got Amber on screen, and you could like, I don't think Amber's face, but you could just hear her voice. Like she was like freaked, like what?
Really?
Like, she was kind of, she's like, hey, Amber, I think, because they know each other. Isn't this your living room or something? She was like, it is. And she's like, how did you get in? She, like, it comes from Discovery. She was just, and I would be too. She, she was kind of like,
oh yeah, they would
who's that being sent out to it? And that means that what I assume is they're keeping tabs on people. Oh, this creator, we got a picture of her through her reflection on her TV, and then they accidentally sent that file out. That's what I would assume.
And the other thought I had was, did they send it out to be intimidating? Like they make it look like they accidentally sent out, but to like scare all of us, like we're watching you.
I forgot. I didn't even think that, but yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy. So I'm looking up, I'm looking up right now what a cup file is, because I didn't realize it was like a thing. So a cup file it sounds like pretty like boring.
Just real quick. So what I'm wondering is, me and Serena and others swear that it came from Shanann's phone. Maybe that was an older discovery, and when it was up, now the latest version is different. Maybe. I'm just throwing that out there.
Possibly. I actually have at least 2 versions of the discovery, possibly 3. Oh my God. I tried to like compare them one time for a very specific, I swear to God. It was like one of the worst things I've ever done. Like it was so, because they're all a mess anyway. And also from one version to another, you don't know. It's like like in the first change they had was the removal of Nicole Kessinger's relevant phone records. Her phone log from June 14th to August 13th was removed, and in its place were all of Chris Watts' like freaking love letters from his fangirls. That was an obvious one. But then after that, the consecutive changes after that were, you weren't even sure what was coming or going. It was always in 1,960 or 660, right, pages. But it's so confusing. I truly wasn't able to do it on my own. It was just head spinning.
Just out of curiosity, and you would know this answer before I would. How normal is it for a case to get like different updated, different like discoveries like that years late? Is that a normal thing, or is this like a anomaly?
Yeah, well, usually, I believe, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not professing to know the official answer here, but let me just like think through that answer. Usually, like the discovery is released when, it's in, the discovery is a process in preparing for trial, and the discovery is usually, released to the public at a time when the case is settled. So I can't think of it. I can't think of another instance of that happening personally. And I FOIA a lot. I get, can anyone else think of that? Am I just not thinking correctly? But I think that's abnormal. I think that's very abnormal.
The other thing that I learned, and again, this is just what I've heard, is like, so this discovery is like 10,166 pages or something. I've always heard like the Morphew case, like a single unaliving case is usually about 40,000 discovery pages. One that's like 3 or 4 people, You know, so to only be 10,000, I've heard that's like unheard of. You know, a single case is usually like I believe the Morphew case is like 40,000 pages, and that was just one person. And I've heard that this case, the amount of like pages is like just unheard of low. And again, I don't know, you know,
well,
first
let's
case I really
remember
gotten
that it
into
didn't
like
go to
that.
trial. The Morphew case is
Very
preparing
true.
for
Very,
trial.
very
I
true.
mean,
Very, very
they pled
true.
out at the earliest. They got
Very
off that
true.
highway at
Very
the
true.
earliest possible
Yep.
exit. They didn't even get.
Yep.
They didn't
Yep.
even get
Yep.
off
You're
the
right.
on ramp. You know.
Well, remember they went in like, so Chris confessed like Wednesday, and like Wednesday night at midnight they went and made all like the attorneys leave the house. Like you're like, oh, we're done, no more.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
right. You're right. How this one was so odd and shady, and Chris, yeah, if I did it, we're done, and we're done. No more money spent. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
That's exactly.
I bet you're right.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I know. I have that footage of when freaking Stephen Wren and when Steve Wren shows up, and you know, it's like it's right around midnight.
Well, that isn't. I remember the officers go in and they want everyone's ID. Remember, like someone like sneaks up the stairs. Like one of the I'm not prosecutors. I think they're on Chris's side of the defense. Like, remember, like the cops walk in, like I need everybody's ID right now. And they're like, huh? You know, like they're kind of like, what's going on?
Oh, right.
And there was like one of the defense, like kind of like snuck up the stairs to kind of like, I'm not saying to hide because he wasn't doing a very good job, but it was like he didn't want to be. I don't know.
I almost forgot about that. What day was that?
So like now, and for whatever reason, I want to say it was Thursday, but I thought it was right after Chris confessed. So that would be Wednesday,
it was
right?
Like that. Yeah, I remember that. That was great. I haven't seen that in a long time.
I know. I forgot about it. Yeah, and I remember like I just remember the defense attorneys were like kind of like what, like they were just like, what's going, you know, like you want my ID, like you like what, you know, and they kicked them out like right then, like we're done, no more. And it's, you know, so I mean, who knows what else they could have found in the house? They didn't even get a chance. But yeah, I just and the cops were very like authoritative, like, hey, you know, give me your IDs and y'all are leaving. You know, and you could tell leaving the defense team was kind of like shaking, like this, you know, this is not a normal thing.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, me too. There's so much of this, you know, so much of this case, like you just kind of certain things slip your mind.
That now. That's a body cam footage shows Chris Watts. Body cam footage shows Chris Watts lying to police. Well, oh wow, that's rare. That's all he ever does.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I still, you know, I don't. Maybe some people like we don't have to watch it, but like some people, I still swear that I can prove, you know, like someone was in that house. You know, I had that theory where when you know, the cop walks up to NA's son, he's like, oh, you know, hey, do you remember me? And you know, the cop walks over, knocks on the door, and they have like the way I call like a hotel lock, like that little latch where the door pops open, and he's knocking, and you know, we know that when Chris gets home, Dieter, you know, we found out Dieter doesn't shut up. So when he knocks, you hear Dieter, and he's like, to me, he sounds like he's right behind the door. Then you never, you know, they're there for another hour waiting on Chris, walking around the house. You don't hear Dieter again. And then when Chris comes home, he has to let him out of either the basement or mudroom or whatever, and then he doesn't shut up. But I mean, in my mind, it's not a question. He barked once when that cop was there. And I don't see him being quiet for the next 45 minutes while they're walking around the house, knocking, yelling. And, you know, like to me, someone, you know, took him and put him in a room. And you know, again, that's my thought.
Well, I remember we were going to look at that before, but we're going to settle that right now because you're never going to shut up about it. Just kidding. I want to know the answer. That's why.
I can take a joke. I get it. Yeah.
Remember we were going to look at that before, and then I don't know what got us like sidetracked, but something did.
Well, I do. I
got it up right now. At what point should we be starting it?
So I mean, it's not like they greet each other.
we're gonna do this. Go ahead. What's that? Oh, they see each other, and he's like, okay, you remember me?
It's not
Okay.
very far into the video. It's a very first knock, and you hear Dieter bark loud and clear. And then if you keep watching, you never hear him again until Chris gets home.
All right. Oops. Past this point. Okay. All right. Play. What's going on here? What? Oh, video quality. Oh, I probably got too many things open here. All right, let me shut some stuff. Let me just shut some windows.
Or if you go to like your settings on the top right and lower your pixels, that might, from like 1080 to 780 or 4. Well,
I don't want to lower them though because I want them to look.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm thinking about me watching it. Yeah, you absolutely
right. Yeah, because it's always so hard to get you guys like a good picture, through. But good thinking otherwise, though. All right, let's see here. I just got too much shit open. Surprise. All right, here we go. Okay, should be fine. Or maybe I will have to lower it. I can shut my email.
So the thing, people always, because the kid says, "Do you remember me?" He says, "Yeah." And then later on that day, it's not too far into it. It's like when all the cops are getting there, I don't think she's on screen, but you hear on a body cam in A say, "I don't know if I should be happy my son knows all these cops or not." And they're like, "It's a good thing." And people always thought that was odd, but I just figured he was like a part of like the Explorer ROTC program where he was, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, a cop's job is to and especially in a community like this, a cop's job is to know people and kids in the community, I mean, they're always, I don't think that's not weird at all. I don't think it is. Is it just this? Let's see, hold it. Just wondering if there's like something funny going on with this here. Turn off closed captioning, shut my other, just want to lose you guys. All right.
And I mean, he's walking around the house banging on every door as I saw someone type the chat, "Make yourself known." And it's like, you don't hear him again. And then once you hear him bark, whatever, if you want to fast forward to when Chris comes home, he has to let him out of the door, and he just doesn't shut up. And anyway.
Yeah, no, I know. People like mention that sometimes, but I'm, that's one of those things that I just like didn't for whatever reason never really got around to paying attention to. So I just
how many theories are in this case here?
Oh my God, can't keep up with them. Let's see. All right. Is it just not meant to be?
Let me know if
there we go.
Me to take her. She's got.
Come on, baby. I feel like this is what happened before. Let me shut this. Do you want to save that? Do not save. Goodbye. All right. I don't have much open at all now. Why don't you want us to do this, God? What are you trying to hide from me? What's going to break the case here? That's what you don't want me to do.
Passed it. Yeah, definitely passed it. No.
That's it. It's just such a long file. It's like every little click takes you forward like 20 minutes. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think it. I believe it's already passed.
Calling him and seeing if we can get a passcode to this and get me permission to go.
I think it's like 30 seconds. Okay, maybe right here.
Okay.
Or yeah, from right here should be fine.
Right here.
But she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him and I was like, "Have you talked or heard from Shanann since you left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are right in the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle and a work truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's not a.
Oh, yes, right here, the first knock.
She went on a phone. Why wouldn't she take in a car? They're both in car seats. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and she didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
Okay. No answer on the phone. Husband's on his way.
Supposedly, but he said that 15 minutes ago, and I called him again, and he said it was 45 minutes out still. And I know the
Oh, maybe he goes
It's all
back.
right.
No, it'll.
Here we go. Here we go.
They have the
Oh,
thing flipped up
here he is.
Oh, what about the garage door?
I don't know.
I think did he just bark? Maybe I talked. I don't know.
Shut up, Keith.
Do you mind calling him and seeing if we can get a passcode to this and get me permission to go in?
Okay.
He was at
I'm
the
just gonna
door.
check the back, see if I can see anything. Right. I just want to look in all the windows, make sure I don't see anything out of. Do they?
Oh, I hear him there.
He's barking.
Man, but see, here's my.
He's
I
going
swear.
off.
Maybe he goes back to the front door, but there's a time where he's at the front door and it's very loud, and he even like kind of opens it because of that hotel lock.
Right. Well, here's the thing. So this is what I've observed with the Dieter barking thing. When I have observed it, it's I know that there's a couple times where you can hear it loudly, but I think for the most part, like right now, I had to put my earbuds in to hear it coming through over all the just like other ambience noises picking up. I feel like he's in the background often going, Dieter,
and that's what and that's what made that one so distinctive, because it sounded like he was right at the door, like you could hear it without a headphone in, like the one that I'm in my mind I'm thinking of anyway.
Well, in these videos, like audio fluctuates, right? The audio is coming from, all sounds are coming from, like it's like an omnidirectional things. But
maybe he goes back to the front door, maybe, and knocks because the cop never knocked on the front door. You right?
All right, let's give it another couple minutes and just listen.
Yeah, because in my mind, the cop is at the door and has it open like an inch or whatever.
You know what? I don't care what you have to say. I want to hear what Dieter has to say. I'm just kidding. I think I know what you're talking about. Let's listen to it for a couple minutes. See if we hear Dieter speak to us.
Oh, it doesn't?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just also wanted to, pin this up. I wanted to say thank you so much for I'm so sorry. My contacts, not my eyes. I have to squint to see everything.
Cynthia Marriott.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. And it's always a joy having you in chat. I'm glad that you've been coming back, and thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here and being part of the conversation. I appreciate ya.
And while we see if he goes back up front, the other thing that I always, like divine intervention or whatever you want to say, but I know we've mentioned before, the fact that while Shanann was in Arizona, Apple did an update and made her update her phone pin from 4 to 6 digits. So then when she came back, Kristen about the update and figured it was still a 4. Like if that didn't happen, they get in that phone and can act like they're, what I mean? Like that is such a crazy thing that happened, almost like just to make sure Chris got caught, it's wild.
Yeah, no. Well, if that was their plan, I personally am not convinced that there was ever such a plan, but I know some people are. But if that was their plan, that was definitely like some kind of weird, not anti-divine intervention. A couple things. Think for yourself. I'd love for you to come up to panel. Here's the link for panel right here. I hope that's what you're talking about. And Serena Williams, I was wondering, what video were you just referring to? Something about, you'll put the link in the comment section. Is it something you want me to play up here? Because your wish is my command, my girl. Let me know what's going on. Sorry, I was missing it. I was just focusing on hearing what Dieter had to say. Dieter, little cutie pie. Yeah, come on up. We would love to hear first. Think for yourself. Are you familiar with her channel, Keith?
I am. Yeah, I always say like, it stinks because she gets a lot of dislike, but because of her theory, but to me, it's a neat thought. She's done a whole, she knows the case unbelievably well, like done a lot of
Yeah.
research. And it's like, I mean, she believes everything happened that we believe. She just, thinks that and all, like, I remember, like, if you go back and look at other things, there's like something sticks out where, in like other tragic events, there's always pictures of shoes, and then she found like a pair of shoes on Nate's. Like, it's just we like she does so much stuff, and I don't believe that's what happened, but if it did happen, that's really the best thing, and because that means everybody would be alive, and
Right.
I just think it's cool, just like I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I love listening to them, just like what people think of and what they think happened. Like, I like listening to them. I'm not saying I believe them all, and I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying her thought on this case is it was like a psyop, and they're all still alive. Chris isn't in jail, and all the things that she believes that the calls happened and this happened, but she just thinks that there's little like keys in the videos, and like the shoes thing really sticks out in my head for whatever reason. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that's what happened, but I don't dislike her for it, and I think it's cool that she put that much time into like trying to prove her theory. I don't know, but
Yeah. Well, I honestly, and I'm sure people have heard me say this before on this channel, that like one of the things I would never even entertain is when people are like, it's just writing a comment, oh, this is a psyop, because I just felt like when that was thrown around in that way, to me, like what she has done is something completely different. It's like a whole different level, in my opinion. But
she's not just saying it to say it. Like she has a bunch of reasons why she thinks. And
yeah, and I feel like when people just say, "Oh, it's a psyop," they were just trying to disregard like the gravity and the magnitude and the tragedy of, But I mean, so for people that have heard me say that before, that's just on like a different level.
And they're just saying that. But like, if you ask them, oh well, if this is a psyop, then where's the kids? They probably like, well, she has a theory of where everyone is, and what I'm saying, like how, like, I mean, it's not just, oh, it's a psyop. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, it's just fake for. I know none were used, but gun control. I'm just throwing something out there. Okay, well then, if this is fake, then what happened to the people? Oh, well, they all still died. It's just, no, she thinks that, and she has reasons to believe that. It's just she didn't just say it and just try and be like a woke individual. She like believes it and has went through all the she has so much stuff. It's nuts.
It's well founded. Yeah, totally. Serena asked a good question. She says, and I had at some point Megan. I had looked this up too, and yeah, Megan, come on up if you're still here. I don't know if I missed her.
She asked who I was referring to, and I was saying we're talking about
you. We're talking about you, but not behind your back, and good things. I can't get my headphones to work on my friend's computer, but I have the next 3 days off. If you want to email me and figure something out. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that, Megan. Thank you. Awesome. I look forward to it. And Serena says, awesome. I will do that tomorrow. I'm on the weekend. I have a couple days off too. Promise. I will get at you tomorrow. So Serena says, I've always heard that about the update and the change of her code. However, my phone didn't update and I didn't have to do anything that weekend. Is there a source for that information? So I at some point asked the same question, and I had looked into it, and I found what I felt like could be a possible source. And I'm trying to see if I have it in my files now, or we're going to have to revisit that issue unless somebody else has something to contribute, because I'm not going to redo all the research right now.
Just Megan. Yeah, no, Megan. Me and Kelly were saying that like some people just say that word but have no no thought to it. It's just to like cause an issue. We're saying like you believe it, but you have many reasons that you believe it, and you believe you have like a where everyone is, and like you're not.
We're saying you're solid, girl. You're solid, girl.
Yeah. I guess her headphones or something wasn't working. And she must have just heard us say like,
yeah, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Now hold it. First of all, we've got to go back to so this is what you have to do to answer Serena's question here. So we have to go back to this discovery and we have to find out what what blah, blah, blah. What model version, all that. I can't even think right now. It's like, what time is it? Oh, it's getting pretty late for me.
Yeah, we can get done.
All that stuff is. I'm just gonna walk through this really quick here, like a little bit. So in order to answer that question, because I had at some point done that research to a certain degree. Like I at some point I found a satisfactory answer, but maybe I would do it again now and I would find something that was contradicting. Who knows? Hold it. So you have to find out what model and operating system she had, I believe. So let's just find that really quick. Should be easy enough. Yeah, and see, this is like what this is just. Go ahead.
No, I would say Megan was saying she doesn't know what I always thought Megan had believed that they like Chris and Shanann and the girls were still together and that he really wasn't in jail. That's what this was years ago. She's saying that she doesn't know where they are. For some reason, I thought that, so I'm wrong there.
Okay. So Megan did a lot with the, a crazy amount. And I'm sure I'd probably seen this along the way, but it was when I was talking to Nancy N recently and it was something else that came up and I was like, wait a minute. And I'm sorry, Megan, but I was like, think for yourself. I like trigger my memory. She said, oh my God, she did like all that stuff with the American Horror Story commercial situation. I don't want to call it a coincidence. I don't know what to call it. And she did like freaking incredible, super deep work on that. That's like what I think about when I think of her channel. Is that an okay thing, Megan? But that's just like what I think, because I was really impressed by that.
Tasha asked if there was proof that Chris and Shanann had coitus before she passed. And I always thought like they didn't do anything. Like they didn't take Chris's, blood, so know what he was in. I don't believe they did one of those kits on her. Like I could be wrong, but like I don't think they even did anything to prove that. I could be wrong.
As far as anything having to do with the autopsy, I always back away from it because I can't stand it when people pretend to be medical examiners on YouTube and like they're experts on it, because that is not my area of expertise. My understanding, and all it is my very basic, like pedestrian understanding is I don't know if they would have done that. I don't know, considering the whole family was annihilated, if it would have really been material at that time, at the time of the autopsy, if they would have been even something that they considered. I think that the body was in such a state of decomposition. I don't know if that particular test would have rendered accurate results on a female. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Megan, I saw something that stuck out was in other orchestrated events, there's always like shoes, and for some reason I remember you had like found like pairs of shoes, like one of them was on Nate's front rail. Like, am I right on that?
Like finding themes and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I think you need to go back and watch some more. Think for yourself, Keith.
Yeah,
it's really good stuff. I think you'd appreciate it. Seriously, you think,
My problem is I'm lazy or whatever. I just update my videos and whatever's there. It's very rare that I'm like, oh, let me go to this channel. If it's not like on my timeline, I'm not very good at it.
Gotcha. I feel, yeah, I know I can be the same sometimes. I mean, I sometimes have to look for specific information, but
and most of the time I'm at work. So I do accounting, I'm doing taxes or bookkeeping, and I'll just like try and find like an hour and a half, 2 hour video that I'm kind of interested. I hit play, it's just on my headphones, and I'm not really spending time. And also when I'm doing that, I don't want to be listening, clues, because then
yeah.
Just listen to an interrogation or like something that's you don't really have to think about,
Yeah. No, I feel ya. But her channel's definitely very good. And if one of the moderators wants to pop a link in the chat, that would be amazing, because I'm sure that people are intrigued right now and would love to check her out.
And I also remember, and you're talking, this was, 2 or 3 years ago, she was having such issues with YouTube. She would go on YouTube, say, hey, everybody, get some people, and she would move over to Discord. And for whatever reason, I could never get that to work. So I did miss a lot of her information because I couldn't get over to Discord and she wasn't able to leave her stuff up on YouTube. So I did miss a lot there.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. We're so sorry, Megan. We'll make up for it somehow. I'm trying to track Serena Williams' question. I'm going to come up with an answer for you guys by the next time I see you. If there's proof that the iOS forced an update on, I'm getting close because I've done this before. I might be able to do it quickly, but I can't talk anymore. I can't talk and research at the same time.
I always laugh whenever you say her name. I live in Palm Beach County. I used to I valeted cars in like 2001 to 2004 while I was in college. It was like I'd work 4 or 5 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Walk out with like $350 cash every day. But I valeted at PJ National where they hold the Honda Classic, and Serena and Venus Williams live in the next community over called Ballin Isles, and they share a Publix. Wow. And like whenever I'd go to lunch, like it was like, oh, Serena was here. But anyway, and I'm a big fan of her for whatever reason. And so whenever you say Serena Williams, I know you're talking about her, but to me, like I'm picturing a tennis player.
Someone was saying something about her name one time. I'm like, we have the real Serena Williams here. Everyone back off.
I think they even
Serena Williams.
I think they even spell it the same. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, Williams is definitely like Williams is Williams, right?
Yeah, but Serena,
yeah.
Now, granted, I don't know many others, but like SE, I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Well, my friends, so Serena Williams, the original Serena Williams right here, you've given me some homework because I'm going to look into the question that you posed about the phone update. If, you've heard people say that about the phone update, did that really happen? I think that's a great question. I think if we can have some kind of a solid answer to that, all the better. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, so I'm just reading your responses, Megan. I don't know if you want me to post or not.
Like Kelly, I'll go ahead and hop down. I appreciate having me up. I appreciate everybody listening.
Thanks for coming
listen to me. I'm sorry, but I'm scared. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I'll be in chat. But
awesome.
I always enjoy it, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming up, Keith. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Matt says, I seriously doubt if they could determine if Shanann and Chris were intimate, especially considering Shanann, miscarried after her tragic death. Right. All of those details. Yeah. And, yeah. I mean, other than to prove that Chris is more or less of a liar than we already know him to be. In my mind, I don't know if it would matter too much. I mean, obviously it would matter to Shanann's last few experiences in her life. But maybe it would, and I'm just not thinking of how. No, and Think for Yourself says, my intentions are never to be disrespectful towards anyone who's been affected by this case. I just want people to know that. And I know that about you. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that, though. And everyone should know that about her. So yeah. So just go check out her stuff go check out your stuff. You can think for yourself. There you go. And you'll have an opinion, Yeah, that's always how I feel about it when they're agreeing. But when people just throw that around in an unfounded way. Anyway. There are many things that we can discuss that are non-conspiratorial. Of course. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because I know I'd always like say, and I'll say it about myself. I'm not the anti-conspiracy theory. And in some cases there, I definitely and I don't think this is conspiracy, but let's say, for example, the Micah Miller case. even with the evidence showing that, you know, she purchased the gun, she supposedly made this call. As soon as I started getting a vibe of that case and of her partner, that despicable man, I absolutely do not think the narrative is as was presented. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think it's very, very likely that there was foul play, not causing her death, psychologically pushing her towards it, but causing her death in a very physical way. So I'm not really, you know, but I don't know. It's getting late. I'm just talking like Chris Watts in his description of his daily devotional, words without any meaning whatsoever. Oh my God. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I will definitely take a look at it. Thank you so much. But you know what? I think I'm going to close this out because we have been at this, holy cow, for 3.5 hours. And it is late and I'm getting tired and I am starting to put out those words that don't have any meaning behind them. But thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate all you guys. And there will be more, you know, and we didn't go as much into, well, Cheryln Cadle's words are by no means Bible. What I wanted to really bring out today was that there are things that she touches upon where you cannot take her word as Bible and she's not telling a full story or narrative by any means. They're little bits and pieces that intersect with proven or provable facts, or things that have been researched or investigated and shown to be true. And those things are very chilling and interesting and I think that they do help to put together a more holistic view of what happened. So I hope that made sense. But does anyone have any closing words? While you're thinking about it, everyone go lock your windows and lock your doors because I want you to be safe tonight and all the time. But if you live like in a cabana or a nice, like, you know, something like, don't do that. And that's cool too. And don't be paranoid or anything. I would love to live in a cabana on a beach. Oh my gosh. In that case, just enjoy. But the point is, be safe because your life is precious and meaningful. Thank you so much for coming up, Muck Boys. I appreciate ya. And also, Sherry, I don't know if you're still here, but I'm going to get together with you. Yes, I'm going to get together with you this weekend. I'll email you in a little bit and we'll figure out how to get you all prepared so you can come up whenever you want. Okay, my darling? Because I would have loved to hear from you and I'd love to hear from you in the future. Oh, yes, please do hit the like. I'd really appreciate it. You guys know that YouTube thing. Oh, bye. I will email you tomorrow too. Awesome. Can't wait to talk to you. Think for yourself. Everyone go check out Think for Yourself's channel and think for yourself and make your own opinion. Yeah, it was Muck Boys on panel. Oh yeah, Keith Muck Boys. Oh yeah, sometimes I'll like explain that it's right. Tina says prayers for your safety. So nice. All right. So everyone do be safe and remember, life is hard. So please, please, please be good to each other. When you're in chat here, some of you guys got a little cray today, but it's okay. I get it. Life is hard, but be good to each other. Just have some understanding for other people because you never know when somebody's like in that moment where they're kind of like at the end of their rope. And I always feel like I don't want to be somebody who's going to, you know, push them past that point where they can't take anymore. So life is hard. Please be good to each other. But most of all, please, please, please be good to yourself because you deserve it. I know you do. You know you do deep down in your heart. So please be good for yourself. It's a weekend. Do something nice for yourself this weekend. I'll even do it too. And yeah, I'll see you again soon. I don't know exactly when. Yeah, because I'm just not sure. It is Friday, so I'll do another live stream either on Sunday or Monday. So I hope to see you guys there, and I will post it pretty soon. And if you have any questions, email me at whatsobsession@gmail.com, but don't necessarily expect that I'm going to respond until after Thursday because my daytime job is slam-packed until then. But I will get back to you eventually. And I've got to go get to the eye doctor so I can have a right contact and a left contact. So I'm not squinting all the time. Like a little, what squints all the time? I don't even know right now. So here's your final message. No, I don't want to play the NK one. Hope this is the right one. Love you guys. Soon.
Welcome to Watts the Obsession, a channel that respects both victim families. We ask that you do the same in chat and in your comments.